welcome back to the NADPC, where we are now into the final proper day of NADPC. You know, we might have some tiebreakers. In fact, we're definitely going to have some tiebreakers to come. How many? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. My name is Nomad, and joining me on the panel, I have got Fear and I've got T-Panda. Guys, it's been a hell of a season. Who have been your kind of biggest stories of this season so far?
TSM with a back-to-back win. You could say Bait doing better than last season. The Division 2 elevator team's doing pretty well with 3 victories and staying in Division 1. That's pretty much mine. What about you,
It's a
Fear?
lot of stories.
You took 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's luckily I'm kind of like the glasses half empty kind of guy. Wildcard not winning a game so far was definitely the biggest story for me, but they have a chance. It's redemption time for them.
Yeah, they don't have a chance to stay in Division 1, unfortunately, but they do have a chance to not be bottom, and that's what we're going to be finding out today. But of course, first, we need to take a look back. We had a huge day of games yesterday. It really did kick off, and out of all of the series, there was one major upset. But first off, we had Shopify Rebellion versus Bait to kick off the day. This one was not so hot coming out from Bait, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were the baiters in this one versus Shopify Rebellion. Both of these 2 games didn't last too long, and also I think Bait was a bit underwhelming in a sense. Nothing as close to what happened in Tour 1. No frisky strat to kind of pull an upset. They also played the Drow Undying again, which it didn't first phase, at least this time. It just hasn't really worked for them, which I'm a bit curious about.
I think it would have been better if they first faced it, because the way they pick these heroes, they counterpick themselves pretty hard. A lot of people love the Storm against the Pango. They pick Pango in the Storm. A lot of people love Storm and Lycan in the Storm. They pick the Drow after seeing those 2 heroes. It wasn't their best performance for their draft, and I'm normally okay with that as long as it has like a lot of extra flair to it, and it's really like baity in a way, for another way of putting it.
Mystic flair.
This is, very good, but that was not very helpful for this game. The biggest problem was they just picked some normal heroes like Drow and Pango's not really a hero that I see Dendi play a lot of, but I see a lot of other players play it, so it seems just a normal draft that they kind of counterpick themselves into.
Guess what they probably needed in Game 2 was maybe a Midas on this guy.
No, that wouldn't have helped.
Not approved.
I don't think so.
Yeah, shocker. Well, next series we had DogChamp versus TSM, and TSM once again just securing themselves a top place in style this time as well. And you keep talking about this back-to-back record. It doesn't really feel like TSM is super worried about that, because they are going off the goddamn rails with some of these drafts. So, and this one, we had a Pudge, we had a Bloodseeker, we had an IO, and the plan here was that we saw the first time, at least for me, a Bloodseeker building the Aghanims and then jumping inside the Pudge with the Aghanim's Rot, and then doing a bit of this, basically.
It was meme central in this game. Wasn't a lot to say. Like, they went to have fun. I've never seen TSM really kind of rewind, relax a little bit, and enjoy a game of Dota like this. Kind of just put on a show here. The game was pretty easy. They went for fun builds, picked fun heroes, but in the day, it was still technically a viable draft. They just went for the let's have fun builds on every hero.
Yeah,
in the early game as well, like they shut down DogChamp pretty well with this Tinker. They slowed down his blink timer, because the moment he did pick up that blink dagger, things looked pretty good for DogChamp. 1 to 2 fights in a row, but it wasn't enough to actually establish them any dominance, because it was a little bit too late at that point. So those 3 minutes cost them a lot.
but this game was special. This game we got to witness the White Mon off-lane Viper setting the new kill record for the NADPC, by the way.
Yes, we did.
This guy's they've been holding him back. He's been holding this power this entire time, and he absolutely destroyed this game.
Yeah. But who is going to play POS 5 if he goes to play core?
That is the question.
We saw Tomato play it. It wasn't the cleanest thing we've ever seen. Not as good as the White Mon off lane. He went Brown Boots Blink on Viper off lane. Never seen before in the history of the past 5 years of Viper off lanes. He owned with it, was godlike by like 7 minutes in this game. It was impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, and they mess around with DogChamp a bit, because they're the team that had 2 different role players.
Yeah, for sure. They outmaneuvered the high maneuverability team, and then we move into our final series of the day. This one was a banger. It was Felt versus Nouns, and this day it looked like a back-to-back convincing series. You know, Shopify, TSM, Nouns, we expect these teams to be ahead above the rest, but Felt, they fought back, and they fought back hard, and they were actually able to pull out some surprising wins in this series.
It was a pretty historical win in a sense as well, because this was the first time Felt would beat Nouns in an official game. So I wonder, has there been something in their scrims or something, if they've played against each other's, that Nouns would always dominate them, maybe try some new stuff against Felt. But honestly, Felt was really just a better team. We saw a good Nouns in game 2, of course, to tie it up. But man, this was some really, really good Dota on the side of Felt.
Yeah, I believe they just outplayed Nouns in this entire series. There was never a point where I'm just like, the draft is unplayable. All the drafts from both sides, we didn't go like full clown mode like TSM here. We just had some real drafts. Maybe there's a couple of variations where Nouns wanted to try new things, but I think that was only in Husky's hero pool. I don't think whatever they picked from was really that outside of the box either, kind of within the realm of what you could play as a 5.
It was not an Undying and an IO, which for Husky is a complete curveball. Oh my god.
So that was the only real change there. But other than that, like, they were trying to play real Dota still, and Felt just outplayed them.
Yeah, and game 3 especially was really cool because Nouns, they tried a different type of approach to the draft. They went for the mid-Riki, and they brought the Omni Knight into the game. It felt like, all right, they've got some pretty good control in saving singular heroes and looking for some good pickoffs with the smoke screen. You've got NPT being in, Razor also great at single target, Tiny allowing to focus more on a single target, but you've got Tidehunter, you've got Jakiro. These heroes sat in very nicely to counteract the teamfight capabilities that Nouns had. You'd find the Omni Knight in the ice path, we'd get Soldier Mirana to land the arrow, and, you know, the Mirana was really the story of this series.
Yeah, Mirana won every single game, and in the first game it was just leaping in with the Wind Waker. This game it was something else entirely, just landing some banger arrows here and there. The Tidehunter as well with the fat ultimate, some really great Ravages to control up Nouns in. There could be the comment to be made that Nouns weren't firing on all cylinders. They were guaranteed third position, win or lose. So, you know, the series didn't mean much then, but at the end of the day, they weren't clowning around. They weren't trying to have fun. This looked like a serious Nouns trying to win the game. And they just came into it without any preparation. And in that circumstance, it was Felt who ended up being the better team. And that's going to put them in position 6 and also eliminate any chance which 5-Rap 4-Staff could have had about escaping the relegation zone. As you can see here, they are sitting at 1 and 5. Had Felt lost, they would have still had the chance. They could have gone 2 and 5 if they beat Wildcard and get out of relegation, force a tiebreaker, but that's all now a dream which has perished, and now they wake up to the cold reality. I was pretty
upset about that game, to be honest. If I was on 5-Rat, I was like, what are the odds of this happening? Can you please just try?
Yeah,
I would have DM'd them.
Yeah, they were probably a bit salty, probably watching the game as well, because they're like, oh, Felt took game 1. Wow, like this is getting serious. Nouns dominates game 2, and then you're like, well, this third game's going to decide if we have a chance in our today's game.
Yep, which means they don't have a chance in today's game. Which means
not.
Well, they have a chance to win.
They have a chance to
just
win,
not to stay in the division,
and they have a chance to get 1K more than the other team, which is still better than the other.
And they still have a chance to be among all the teams that have beat Wildcard.
They still have a chance to have a chance.
Bragging rights.
Yes, very important bragging rights. I mean, we could take a look at the series we've got coming up today. It is, of course, Wildcard Gaming versus 5-Rat 4-Staff. The bottom two teams battling it out for a little bit of pride, a little bit of money, and, I don't know, seeding in Division 2. I don't think anybody really cares. You've got to play every team anyway, so I don't know. But, yeah, that's what it looks like. The results of this, what does it mean? Well, Wildcard, if they beat 5-Rat 4-Staff, will tie with them for the bottom place, and therefore they will play another tiebreaker, another best of 3, immediately, like tomorrow, basically, which is kind of weird. So, I mean, Wildcard, if they want to go for a best of 6 against 5-Rat 4-Staff, then the fight, I guess. If 5-Rat 4-Staff win, then they'll secure themselves at 2 and 5, which means they are still in position 7 and still going to be relegated, but will get the extra money over Wildcard. So it's going to be interesting. I do just want to ask the honest question, Fear. Wildcard, do you think there's any possibility if they do win that they'll then forfeit anyway?
There's always a possibility. It really depends on the mental state of the team. Really impossible to say because you'll play for a little bit of money. For these players, do they want to play for pride or do they want to play for money or do they want to just be like, I'm done, I'm out of here? I would be incredibly surprised personally if this team will stick in Division 2 to come back up to Division 1, but maybe they will. I'm willing to be surprised, but it seems unlikely.
Yeah, it's a defeat that you won't really give out easily in a sense. Like obviously you'd love to see them still battle it out, even if they win today's series, force out another best of 3 basically against the same team. But when you look at it from the perspective of 5-Rat, they could just be over it today. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You get yourself a K more than the other team did. Still going Division 2, but no more extra dotes to worry about. A bit of a money pusher.
Yeah, for sure. It's something. It's something. And, getting to beat another team, I think, is always going to be good for 5 Rat. But I think it means more for Wildcard because they really don't want to go to be that team which was undefeated in Division 1.
Sure.
That would be a very bad title, especially for these players to hold. I'm willing to bet that's never happened for MSS.
They were one of the two
past.
teams to take a game off TSM as well. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pretty wild statistic there.
It
but
is, yeah.
yeah, it's absolutely correct. Well, what did we think? Let's find out. Let's pull up those predictions and see exactly which way we've all gone for this series. For myself, I'm going
Sorry,
5 Rat
wildcard.
4 stuff here. You're with me. Everyone else going wildcard. All right, I guess T Panda, you can talk us through your prediction first. Why wildcard?
Why wildcard? I think mainly because of the prestige, basically. You don't want to end up like Outsiders from China, which went 0-7, not winning a single map even, but they have map victories. They want to get a serious victory, at least to show why this prestigious team with all these big names isn't going to give out without a fight. That is probably what I'm looking for
is that
here.
why
is
they're
a
gonna win?
hungry. What?
Wait, that's why they're not. That's why they're going to win.
I think
just so they don't go.
just so that they
0-7.
don't get just so that they don't get compared to another team that also had
see.
one of the worst
So now
runs
they're gonna
in
try.
DPC history.
Now's the
so
time.
that's the way to differentiate you from that other team.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've now changed my prediction. Not just
Oh.
because of your rousing speech there, T-Panda, but also because I just spotted in the lobby. It looks like we're going to have Azantic standing in for Wildcard, who is, of course, a UK mid player.
Interesting.
So we're really coming across, apparently. Don't who me. Don't who me, fear.
What region?
Azantic is he's a UK mid player. I believe he's qualified for Div 2 next
Okay.
season.
I'm not
He's a
familiar with
D2
them.
Hustlers player, so
Yeah.
yeah,
They're really borrowing D2 Hustlers players, aren't they? They're really,
very hot stack for sure.
they must have good deals on loaning players.
Yeah, I remember he played with, was it EU Rejects or something like that?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's Devi, Llama, and
I'm gonna look
Yuma's
up.
on there, right?
I'm gonna look up that roster
Ex-teammates of
because
Sammy Boys, so just...
Yeah, exactly. That's a connection.
I mean, they didn't want to play with Sammy Boy this tour, and they moved on, and now they feel bad, so they're supplying some stand-ins when needed.
Looking at EU Rejects, I see names like 5UP, I see J4, I see Shad, most importantly Shad, who's also been a part of the Hustlers roster last DPC tour. And then, of course, it's Zantic, who's, I believe, is a mid player, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he is. There's so many bloody British mid players. You got the Tanners, you got the Adzantics,
Keep
and
going.
Ari also mean around every time in there.
Yeah, the Ari Ricky mid.
Yeah,
Ricky
that's
mid.
all of UK, really.
Yeah. No, that's
And Nomad, you're probably also a mid player.
At the moment, yeah. I'm
All
trying
right.
a bit of mid.
See?
Yeah.
Point proven.
All right.
Yep.
Let's take a look at these two teams that are head-to-head then. Wildcard versus 5 Rat 4 Staff. How do you think these guys compare kind of statistically, T-Panda? This is your domain.
Well, if you basically just look at straight up KDA, it is a bit favoring 5 Rat 4 stuff. However, they've also played those long, grueling 40, 50-minute games, nearly 60-minute matches as well.
They're dominating the boards here.
Hence, they've got more GPM, they've got more XPM. But Wildcard, there was one stat that was kind of the same as Nouns. Some of their games, and actually most of their games, is... I'm trying to find the word for not more action-packed, but literally there's barely any action going. It's a
stale,
lot to
boring.
do with
Less
Yawar just
action-packed.
farming. Lil Nick can't really find good openers, how to get into the team fight if he's playing Snapfire, for
Sluggish.
example. Just kind of sluggish. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
put it that way. And a
Sludgy.
lot has been on the shoulders of Alone to carry it out. 5 Rat, however, they've had success in some games where they play high tempo, haven't really found those early objectives, but when they do establish something out of that, like the top teams in our division. When they get early tier 1 towers, they instantly get themselves more map control, easier skirmishes, more Roshan control.
I realize I didn't ask you, Phil, why you put 5 Rat 4 Staff over Wildcard.
there you
So
go.
now you get your chance.
In their last series, was it versus Felt? I think it was versus Felt. Either way, they dominated 2-0 fashion. Oh, even better, Bait. They dominated Bait in a 2-0 fashion. They looked really good. We had our speed interview. They said they're finally starting to click. They've got that one match that they really needed, and they won it in a 2-0 fashion. I think that's going to be a lot of confidence for this team that has a lot of potential. Whereas I don't think Wildcard has got that confidence boost yet. They're still on that downward trajectory where 5 Rat was that. Now they're a little bit up by just a little bit.
So they've had a whiff of the copium, and now they want more of it.
The thing is, like, they're all good players, right? So if they have a little more
Yeah.
confidence, I think that'll do wonders for both these teams. And I think 5-Rat, it's just undoubtedly a team that has a bit more confidence right now going into this series.
There's a theoretical fact, which is that they are more consistent on the side of Wildcard than 5-Rat. Sadly, they're consistent in losing. So that's not really a good thing, but it is consistency. And you can't always say winning is just consistent or just sitting in the middle, win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. That's also consistency.
Thank you. I love theoretical facts.
Yes. There's a lot of consistency, I would agree, with
Can they break that pattern?
Wildcard. But the problem is if they continue that consistency, they're not going to win.
Exactly.
That's not the kind of consistency you want to say. We've been asking for consistency in the NA region for a long time, but not that. Yeah. Wildcard got the wrong message, the wrong end of the stick on that one. But hey, let's take a look at a player comparison, and we are going to be looking at the two carry players. It is DNM and Yawar in the head-to-head. I think these two are actually very similar in the way they play the game. Maybe DNM a little bit more active.
Yeah, most likely. Yawar has been put with a task in front of him that is very difficult, I do believe. They do have an offlaner who does like to take a lot of farm at times. He's been trying to transition a bit out of that into being more active on the map, but it's really the mid laner alone who has been very greedy, playing a lot of SF, farming it up, playing morphlings. And when you kind of have that strategy, it's very hard to shine as a carry. You have to make your own space. And this is kind of the wrong patch for that type of carry to shine. We don't see it very often, and you don't have the tools, and the heroes that can do it are just not good in Dota right now. So it's not a situation as a carry player it's great to be in. So oftentimes we'll see you are just farming, never coming online, but Alone's trying to make things happen, but you can't take away the fact that he's been taking a lot of farm and slowing the game down as well. DNM, he's had plenty of chances to shine. He's had some really good games. I think 5-Rat, where they've really struggled, is that mid-late game, especially going into the high grounds. This 5-Rat team is absolutely awful at going high ground. They throw all their games every time they try doing it, and I feel like they don't get rolled over a lot. Their games are pretty close for the most part, and then they just lose.
And a big differential is actually Yawar and Alone are somewhat the same, even though they're mid and carry, but DNM and Red 2 different, very different to each other. So Red 2 really plays the tempo controller, the space maker, the active fighter for DNM to tune in, where Alone might be playing exactly the same type of hero as Yawar is. Then you have two carries who both need a lot of farm, and that's not a good situation to be in.
It certainly is not, T-Panda, and I think what's even a worse situation now for Wildcard is that they are replacing Alone for this game. They're using a substitute in Xantic, who is a mid player, and we can see in the lobby that Alone's not there.
Could be a good thing, to be honest with you.
Could be a good thing,
really?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same situation as when we saw, who was it? Yuma came in, right? Last second, they really needed that type of player. And I think Wildcard's in the exact same situation right now. Like, you lose like Quinn from UR as your mid laner, who's really active, doing things, allows you to farm, and then you get another farming mid all of a sudden, and now you have to drastically change your playstyle. It's not easy. It's very difficult.
Yep.
I guess that's fair enough. I did feel like Alone was my biggest standout on Wildcard. He was the one player making things happen
But at
in
what
the game.
cost?
I guess that's the other side of the coin, which clubs like me can't see, but it did feel like, Alone and MSS actually played some great Dota together. So hopefully we see that with a little bit more coming out of Xantic, and we get like some very active gameplay coming out from them. Let's look at the drafting comparison and see how these picks line up with one another and what we can expect to see coming up in the draft for these two teams, as mostly it's looking at the Snapfire wildcard. They've loved this hero. They've loved flexing it as well. A lot of these NA teams have these kind of unique picks, which they like over every other team. Moranas have been hanging around for some teams as well. Felt, been enjoying that one. And 5-4 stuff, they love that Pangolier for Red 2. They just love it.
And the Moose Hoodwink has been coming out a lot as well.
Yep.
Seems like, what's Moose hero pool? You have that in front of you?
Yep. Hoodwink, Tiny, Rubik, so the basics.
Just the
An
three
Earth
heroes
Spirit
right
added into the mix, a Marcy, a Nyx, a Tuskegee.
Oh, he had
so
that crazy
all over the
Marcy
place.
game, yeah. I mean, Red 2 is really boring to talk about because like he's just pango every single game. But like I think Moose's hero pool is really important, and we talked about before, like them hooking up could be a good thing, but the game they looked the best when Moose played it solo. He went solo dolo, played the Marcy, farmed it up, ended up getting the BKB, the Basher, started just playing his own game. Maybe that's a route that they should take.
And that was his redemption series as well against the team which kicked him, or he left from. I don't know the exact details there, but Moose got swapped out for Stumnen, and then he got to beat up his own teammate, literally punched him in the face. So well done to Moose. That showed some real life from him, and hopefully that continues. Is that the kind of vibe you want to see from Moose this game, or do you think that just depends on the game state?
Well, I mean, Red 2 has been looking a lot better, so I could see a possibility where Red 2 and Moose get to play together more. The hero pool from Red 2, if he goes something else than Pango, say first phase ban, which Wildcard probably might even look for if they don't have the first pick. I mean, sorry, if they don't have the first pick, for example, because Red 2 could just snatch it right away. You get this activated hero pool from Moose and Red 2 with a different type of hero. How do they click together? It could just be a possibility, but the mid matchup changes a lot. Right now, they're probably looking at Adzantek's Dota buff, like what are the heroes he's played before? Does he have the comforts, like the Kunkka, for example? Very versatile, but not like, it's a semi-situational hero these days, at least. Before, it was like, you're happy to pick this against like 90% of the hero pool. So a lot of things do change in this particular matchup now with that stand-in. And it was a good segue that you threw there about how do these roles match up between the team, because Alone missing out, of course, he was a great player, but Adzantek, he fits in the role better to maybe help out Yawar in this game.
I hope so. I hope so. We'll have to see. But of course, who else likes seeing? You like seeing. You like seeing Dota. Why not earn some tokens whilst you see your Dota? It's a new watch to earn platform coming out from esportsbet.io. 3,000 free tokens per hour, which you can then use to place bets on your favorite teams across the NA and Western EU regions, which is the equivalent to $3 per hour, simply by watching your favorite teams. There's no need to place a bet to start earning tokens. Just head over to the esportsbet.io website, make an account, start watching games, and start earning tokens today. It's that easy. Get involved, join in with the community over there, and check out esportsbet.io. But now, as we get into this series, I do want to just quickly revisit the point of the mental game here for both teams. You know, 5 out 4 staff, you know, they're young, they're kind of newer players to the DPC. They're coming up, and then, unfortunately, going down now as well. Do you think they'll be able to better handle going down to Division 2 than a team of players which you were kind of expecting to be threatening the top 4 of this region?
Well, technically, when you look at it just in the eyes of the present, that they know if they lose this one, they have another series at the back that probably takes a bit of pressure off of you. And then, of course, you have a very long break. You lose in Division 1, get dropped to Division 2. It's like 6 to 8 weeks of break time. So you have a lot of time to prep the new players, get some warm-up, play some scrims, and prepare yourself for that. But for Wildcard's perspective, I don't really know if what's going to happen with this team if they end up losing. You know, it could just blow all over the place.
I would like to see, as weird as it sounds, I would like to see Wildcard stay.
I would like to
in
too.
Division 2 and play together, because I think once you do lose from Division 1 in this fashion and you go into Division 2, I think your stock as a player goes down a lot, and you do have to rebuild that. I don't think they're going to instantly get a bunch of invites to Tier 1 teams right after this happens. And I think this team does have a lot of potential, and I think they'll clean sweep Division 2 and come back up. And maybe there's a lot of lessons to be learned in that Division 2, and maybe it'll be a rough like tour number 3 for them. But I think if you're Wildcard, you're playing for the long game here, because I don't think there's going to be any quick breakouts for these players coming up shortly.
Yeah, and what are you looking at now for these wildcard players? Because obviously now they're going down to Division 2. You know, it's going to be Season 3 where they play in Division 2. That means that qualifying for TI is going to be much harder as well. You have to work through the qualifiers and everything, you know. Is that a realistic prospect for them, or something they should be aiming for?
I think
it's the only one, really, outside of third-party tournaments and gaining experience and getting on your run for the TI. It literally is your only path now, because you're going to spend 2 or 3 in Division 2 means no points. It's just money prizes and maybe getting back for the next year, but then you're already looking long-term and things.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in, and I don't envy them, but I hope that they are able to have the mental strength to kind of hold together and, as you say, stay together as a team and make those improvements which are needed. But on the other hand, you know, there's so much experience in this squad. You know, they've been in tough positions before. They've had bad beats before. They've been on the brink of qualifying and fallen off. So they've been through so much that I would like to think that even though this might be considered the lowest of lows, they are able to come back and regroup and make the story happen. You know, the story starts here.
Beautiful story.
I would be fine for like a couple of roster changes. I just wouldn't want like a whole disband.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, we do have the draft now available, so let's jump into it. As Wildcard versus 5 Rat 4 staff, playing for glory here, playing for $1,000 and playing for the possibility of a rematch if Wildcard do take the victory. And that's another thing for 5 Rat as well, by the way. They're essentially this is a backup series for them. If they lose this one, they can just we can go again.
Yep.
It's
it really
fine.
is, huh?
Yeah, it's a crazy prospect, to be honest with you. And we'll see what exactly they're going to look at here. A Wildcard going to consider banning out the Pango Pangolier and letting something through. Speed said he really wanted to play the Brood, so I highly doubt that Wildcard will be letting that one through.
It's kind of like maybe they... Okay, I was actually hoping 5-Rat would have taken the approach of let's leave the Furion and the Brood in the table, because it forces Wildcard to ban those out. They're both first pick material, and that would leave the Pango in the pool. But they decided to ban out the Furion. Maybe there's something else that they're also worried about. Of course, Furion is a bit tricky to play against in a sense, but Wildcard's yet to show that Furion at all in this tournament. Does Lil
No, they
play
beat
Furion?
TSM with it. Remember? UR played it. I remember that one. It was a long and dirty game.
It is.
They-
Okay, yeah. He actually
that
is
was
there.
their win.
The
so-
craziest comeback.
They do have 5 games, so
Yeah.
my eyes were blind.
My eyes were blind. Yeah,
I wasn't,
think
my
about
eyes
it,
were.
yeah.
What else of you could be blind?
Beastmaster ban, all right, okay. Definitely targeting Lil Nick here.
Yeah, somewhat. So the Pangolier is going to make it through the pool. 5-Rat might leave it for the next pick. Might grab something like the Undying here for themselves. That is something which Giant has absolutely loved to play.
I love it when my POS 5s play Undying too. It's a strong Dota here. The only thing it's not good at is rotating on the map and ganking. But
Yeah.
that's not really how you play around the hero. You win your lane so hard and then you're like, all right, we can chill. Oh, you're strong now? Okay, let's run at mid. You're not really looking to go gank the enemy carry. You just already have a huge advantage from the laning stage
All right.
typically.
I see an Iolesh in the... Okay, he's
For
got
whom?
15. He's got 15 games on Atlantic because the thing is, they went for the Tusk first pick. Io is currently 11-3 or 12-2. I don't remember exactly, but 85% win rate out of 14 games. So Io is damn strong, very good, and it fits the sustain meta that we're playing currently. And Atlantic, he's got a couple games on Lesh. It's not his most played hero, but out of the top 15, it's there.
It's there.
So it's
It's
an option
You know
they
who's
can
not
go
there?
for.
You are. You can barely see him there.
Yeah.
in the shadows.
And we talked about Leshrac
shadows
being
of his own
this.
despair.
We talked about Lesh being this kind of American mid player, must-know hero. At Zantic, he's not American, so they.
NA Lesh,
they
best
went-
Lesh. This is the
Yeah,
goal.
they went for
Yeah,
disruptor.
you can't pick a UK Lesh in the NA region; it'll get
No, you
destroyed.
can't.
No.
Has been proven. Disruptor first phase, yep, classic. Silence against the Tusk. Snowball saves get a bit trickier. You've got the Glimpse threat always around the map, and
There you go. Xantic Ember Spirit. That's a speciality pick for him. Something he's played a lot.
This is pre-countering the Pango.
They know what's coming. They're not geniuses.
is like-
they don't need me to know what's coming.
It's coming. We can get away with this. Now the question is, does Red 2 let them get away with it? Because I would like him to pick his Lesh here. He's shown that this matchup for him is really good. I forgot who he bullied, but he was bullying mid laners with his Leshrac, which I thought Lesh was his best hero, but apparently it's Pango. I guess that one came shortly after my time of playing with him. It started with the Lesh, then the Pango came. So we'll see if he does that, but I'd rather see his Leshrac here because I've seen him do really well against Ember Spirits with that. Even though some Embers do like the matchup, he knows the matchup. Maybe he is good at just pump faking the stun, getting the Sleight of Fist out, and then landing it after.
was that against Felt? Because I
Could have
see,
been.
I
I
see,
don't
he's played
remember.
it twice versus Nouns in games 1 and game 2.
Oh, he did well versus Gunner, yeah.
Gunner.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gunner. All right.
That was a match. I remember it was a good mid player he played against, and he actually won the lane pretty hard, so I was
Yeah.
impressed by that.
Okay, half your reserve time's already gone. They spent a lot of time with the first ban, and now thinking even more with the 8th pick. So you see your mid matchup, just go for the Lesh.
I mean, at least they're thinking about not picking Pango. I like that already.
Yeah, at least it's going on in their brains. Whether they do it or not, we'll
can
see.
we pick an out-of-the-box Kunkka first phase? It's good against the Ember, but do you really want this hero first phase?
I don't. Oh, they're going for the real I want to crush my lane. Like, I don't think Leshrac
Confidence.
crushes the lane, Pango loses the lane, but Shadow Fiend will destroy this lane. So, have we seen him play Shadow Fiend yet?
Nope.
Probably not.
DNM's
So,
the only one.
yeah, so it's a flex still.
Yeah.
They can pick it here, they can flex it, and then they can last pick his Pango.
Hooray! I'll be so annoyed. I will leave the studio if that happens.
All right, holding your turn.
Yeah, and we know
Holding to you
Yawar
over
can
there.
play the Bloodseeker, so that's the last trump card they're holding on to against the Pango.
Yep, they could pick it if they leave it and they somehow end up wanting that Pango. But I feel like if you wanted the Pango, you would have taken it.
Yeah,
It makes
it does feel
no
like
sense otherwise to save it.
I mean, it's bad against Disruptor as well because you can get called out cooking up your ulti if you do get jumped. So
Uh,
Forcing
you
it
have
goes for
you have
ult,
tools because like the Shard can dodge Glimpse, so that is really nice for Pango.
That is actually, yeah, the roll.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
you are magic immune in some, but there are instances where you use all your spells and you glimpse back, you're dead. But that's pretty much every hero. That's why Disruptor is so strong.
Yeah, that's why he's a pain in the ass.
But I do see the point. Like Disruptor is a real painful hero against the Pango because it also means you need to invest that 1,400 gold to pick up the Shard, and you've got so many more crucial items happening on the Pango at 13 to 17 minutes. You need to finish your Diffusal Blade. You got to look for. You already got like Mana Boots and Bottle already on top of that, so you need to pack a punch. But then you also have to worry about if Glimpse is being used, and you see a couple of heroes around that, you're just using an ult on a basic ability, and that always hurts. But later in the game, yeah, definitely the roll.
If you can get to like your Ags faster without needing the Shard, I think most Pangos would enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, let's see. There's the Mirana, Tiny. They're taking away heroes from MSS, and the Clockwork
that.
too. Okay. Yeah, Clock Ember makes sense.
Now you have no Clock, you have no Tusk, so MSS is forced to play something else. They're going to grab the Snapfire once again. This could be an MSS hero, it could be the little Nick hero, something they're willing to flex, but this has been their classic drafting style. So, you know, in a way, it's nice that they're not kind of straying from their ideas. They don't believe the drafts are the problems, and I kind of agree with that as well. I don't think I've ever looked at a wildcard draft and been like, this is garbage.
Yeah. They've just tried a lot of different things, but yeah, they've all made sense on paper.
I mean, their drafts haven't looked bad on paper. They definitely make sense, but I did always want to see MSS playing a more active role in the game. Like seeing them play Snapfire and sitting in the back, just shooting off some Mortimer Kisses. Who's going to be your aggressive? Who's going to be one with a killer instinct? I felt like that really had to be MSS with Alone in the mid lane, but I haven't seen much of this UK mid player. I'm not sure what his playstyle is, if he wants to farm or if he's hyper aggressive.
Very aggressive.
So, I mean, that could work really well.
Silencer. And what else do we want
What's
here?
on the menu?
I mean, the thing is, the whole Pango question and DNM's hero pool, right? Does he want the Shadow Fiend? Do they reveal the Shadow Fiend's going to go for DNM with a potential red 2 pick right now? Or do they leave it for last phase and Wildcard still can last pick to answer that?
No matter what, you pick your offlaner.
Exactly. So I also agree, like, just pick your offlaner here for speed. Some of the good ones that I see right now potentially is you want to get that gap closed. So with Shadow Fiend, Darkseer is very pog. You got a nice combo.
Witch Doctor off
Witch
lane.
Doctor.
Look at it go.
Okay.
They just wanted a ranged
Experimenting the
hero
meta.
that lanes with the Tusk. You could argue Primal Beast could work too, but I mean, it's a fine Primal game. But they just want to play some Witch Doctor.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm always down for a bit of that.
Yeah. I was also thinking about the Primal since the Clock ban came out and the Tiny ban. That could have made a pretty good Primal game.
Yeah, I mean, Primal is one of those heroes. If you need to make sure your lane works, and Tusk is a hero that wants to play with most of the time ranged heroes. He can enable them, but Primal's just such a beefy, tanky boy that he can play with these melee 4s and kind of just survive and get farm, and he doesn't even need the most amount of farm. And they're pretty strong together too, because you can, like ranged heroes, connect quickly to a Tusk combination or Shard with the Onslaught. So that was definitely an option for them. But Witch Doctor, it's trending, but it's going to be a different type of Witch Doctor game. You don't have like the overwhelming heals. You don't have the IO with it. In fact, he's the only one that does the healing at all. So I don't know if we've seen the Witch Doctor just by himself as the singular heal for the team.
Yeah, and it just got a bit trickier as well in the lane. If you want to play that core Witch Doctor, Morphling and Naga are like two heroes that are really annoying to play against. Of course, Naga may be a little bit easier in terms of that because Morphling just doesn't care about Maledict at all. But then this Naga kind of sits into the picture. Witch Doctor is squishy, Silencer is squishy. You do a lot of damage with your Riptide here.
Yeah, your hopes, you know, some of you might be like, well, you know, maybe the Voodoo Restoration, it does damage, it heals you. Not enough.
That's our illusion clear.
I wish. I mean, maybe if you go...
It's better than nothing, honestly. Some matchups actually have nothing, so it's something. I don't think they're going to win the lane, but there's no adjustments you can make here.
Yeah.
There's pretty much nothing, because I don't want to see Red 2 Witch Doctor mid.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing SF off lane, which doesn't sound great either.
Yeah. But the thing is, with this Witch Doctor, you need a lot of farm. You obviously, he loves his Greaves. You want to pick that one up. You're potentially considering the pipe as well. So Witch Doctor is going to spend at least like 14 minutes in that lane, maybe the 1-2 rotations that you get to do with Cask and Maledict. Shadow Fiend has a lot of burst damage. You don't need to do a lot to just show up and get your combo out, and Shadow Fiend's already dropping them low, but you will want to spend a lot of time in lane with this hero.
We saw this exact matchup when Wildcard, you are playing the Naga, played Nouns, Moo on the Witch Doctor. His Naga couldn't do anything in that game versus the Witch Doctor. It was an IO Witch Doctor, though, so there is a big difference. But I'm we'll find out. We'll see.
Curveball.
I mean, that one's interesting, for sure. It's not particularly amazing versus anything right now. Naga like doesn't care that much about getting ruptured. It's not great. No hero wants to get ruptured. Ember surely doesn't care. He supports whatever.
But you're winning one lane at least on 5-Rat's side, which is the Shadow Fiend versus the Ember Spirit.
And they pick Lycan into Bloodseeker.
Lycan into Blood.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's
support.
MSS
Lycan. Yeah.
MSS back to the offlane. Let's go.
what?
I think so.
Yeah, really? I mean, it's
yeah,
not going to be a
yeah, I
sport.
think so.
Don't see that being a sport. That would be crazy. So,
Yeah.
All right, wild
I mean,
cards.
it's last series, MSS is like, you gave it your all, little Nick, but I'm back to the offlane.
Get out of here. Step aside, little one. Yeah, Chad move from MSS here. Interesting
Very.
stuff. So overall, I think this Lycan pick, it does
Oh, he
seem weird
misclicked.
though. It seems very weird. Against a Bloodseeker, like, yeah, okay, you can maybe find and bully the Silencer. Sure, that works, I suppose. But
Well, this, I will say, like, if you are confident as Lycan, it's not, like, the best matchup ever. But if you really think about it, yeah, you rupture the Lycan, but that doesn't really stop his units from doing anything. You are playing versus a Silencer, you're playing versus a Witch Doctor, you're playing versus a Tusk, and a Shadow Fiend. None of these heroes really do anything to your units, so it's not as simple as a 1v1, you can't play the hero. Just Bloodseeker is good versus Lycan. It's not unplayable. So
Yeah.
I think this matchup is deceptively fine this game.
And Lycan
Alright.
looks good with the Howl, so it works a lot versus the physical damage that they
all
have.
right, one word prediction. Which team?
I have to go 5-Rat all the way.
I'm going 5-Rat too.
You both gave me loads of words, but sure. Team's going for 5-Rat. I'm going for Wildcard because my boy Xantic's playing in the middle lane. I'm going to represent the UK. And we've got our casters for this one. It is going to be Mlup and Cinderin taking us through game number 1.
Thank you so much. No, and it is indeed Blip and Cinderin. Cinderin, you've seen the drafts, Wildcast versus 5-Rat. Even I can't talk anymore. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. This is gonna be a fun series no matter what, right? Like it's one of those. It's the end of the road for the season for these two teams, and you know you're kind of going in with maybe different motivation to play, right? Like maybe one of these teams is maybe there's some bad blood, or you really want to beat them, and or you're just hungry to get a win and get on the board even if it doesn't end up getting you to stay in Div 1 or approaching the major or anything. And the stakes here for Wildcard is if they win, they need to beat them again, because then they get a tie for second to last. So there's a potential for a lot of games. As far as the drafts go, I'm happy with what Fear said, because I really agree with that. I think this is not a particularly bad Lycan game. I think sometimes people focus too much on one aspect of a hero and one counter matchup. And yeah, the Bloodseeker Rupture is annoying, but I actually think Lycan is good against pretty much everything else. Especially Silencer hates this matchup, and Witch Doctor too. So we'll see. Wildcard, the winless team out of the two so far in the division. Obviously, that's why they need to grab this win in order to force a tie. And with the stand-in at Xantic, let's see how it works out. Sometimes swapping out a player can breathe in some new life into a team that isn't doing too well. You're going to have some more energy. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, DNA was actually taking a lot of damage here on the Bloodseeker. Nice micro already from MSS with the body block of the Wolves.
What do you think about the role swap?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of going to ask you the same question, because MSS just takes over. Lil Nick now playing pos 4. Poor old Lil Nick, he started off as a mid laner, went to pos 3, now he's pos... I mean, next season he's probably just pos 5, and after that maybe just coach. I'm not sure. It's
And then caster.
Hey.
You know the whole path.
Yeah.
The path of despair that we all walk. When did you play pos 1?
Oh, yeah, it was a long, long time ago. Oh, not quite at your level, Syndrome. Not quite at yours.
Well, Fear has been through a decent chunk of this, I guess. What roles did Fear actually play? So I know he played carry predominantly, right? Do you remember him playing other roles than carry actually?
I think didn't he play pos 5 at one point?
He might. I feel like I remember him playing a bit of 5, and he's also coached. So he's done his due diligence in order to deserve to work with us. So that's good.
I mean, you live for like 60 years. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Goodness me.
Fear might make a comeback.
You never know.
You never know.
I've seen weirder things, that's for sure.
Nobody's truly retired in Dota, right? This just doesn't happen.
Let's start off with the mid lane, shall we? You've got Adzantic against Red 2. So there's a stand-in on the mid lane. Of course, the Ember versus SF matchup. Who do you really favor here, Syndra?
It's a massively SF favorite matchup. It's one of Ember's absolute worst because, oh, I see Adzantic doing some decent damage here to Red. So the problem for Ember in this lane is Flame Guard gets pierced by Shadow Fiend very easily, and your way of getting CS, aside from sneaking a CS here and there with Slight, you have to reach the wave, and then you can just get Raze comboed and take tons of harass as
top lane.
Yes, this is a surprising outcome, to say the least, that they both die together. It's one thing if one player dies in this lane, but Lycan and Snapfire getting killed by a lane with no stuns and arguably one of the weakest slows in the game is quite surprising. And now Samson bottom as well, almost dying here to speed and moves.
Yeah, already off to
Not a good start.
Pretty terrible start here for Wildcard. Great start for 5-Rat. And we'll see how they try to recover from this one. I mean, if you're the safe lane of 5-Rat right now, you're sitting very happy finding those 2 kills. Giant. I mean, this lane is kind of annoying, right? Like for the Snapfire and the Lycan, like against the Silencer Bloodseeker, it doesn't seem like the most fun time in the world.
It's not the best, but it's also not terrible. I think Wildcard, something must have gone wrong in the first couple of waves that I didn't notice, because I don't think MSS here should be sitting on 5 CS minute 3. You can pull the wave. Silencer can't really do much about that if you go and do that with Snapfire or with Lycan or with the Wolves. And as far as overall damage goes, yeah, Bloodseeker has really high base damage, but you have yourself and your Wolves. You can combine as well with Snapfire taking the range creep with Scatterblast, etc. So, yeah, they've just been outplayed. There's, that's all there is to it.
Right. That's the thing is, I mean, these guys did just swap roles, so, you know, you might be kind of mixing up things here a little bit.
MSS forgot how to hit creeps, is what you're saying? I don't know about that.
I mean,
nobody forgets how to hit creeps.
It's either that or Lil Nick forgot how to pull the large camp, you know?
Yeah, it could be.
Lil Nick.
Decent harass here. Actually, we'll take the full damage. He takes the curse and the last word damage as well as the blood right. Tried to dodge it, but ended up getting hit by everything anyway. And now he's going to get bullied by DNM. And DNM could actually just full-on run him down here.
And he probably just will. DNM. Yep. Oh, Lil Nick, forgetting he's not a core. He doesn't have the farm or the levels. And DNM will take another kill here on the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, mid lane, Adzantic getting jumped. Did already pop the Sleight of Fist. Moves us in with the snowball and the shards out. It's not going to be enough, though.
Oh, they have to mega rotate here, though. They TP both supports mid. Samson first to try to save Adzantic, which was successful, and then secondly, Lil Nick will TP in for a bottle refill. So they're definitely trying to give Adzantic better conditions, but as it stands, he's still getting bullied really hard in this lane. He's 17 for 0 against the 24 and 8 on Shadow Fiend. They're even going to help him now by Disruptor full-on laning here. Okay, maybe looking for an attempted kill here. This could be big. They'll find the glimpse.
Nice glimpse back from Sammy. Red in big trouble. Adzantic, they will find the kill. Sammy, he'll be very happy with that. Zmurs, he'll stick around the mid lane and maybe just soak some XP. No glimpse available for Sammy to bring him back anyway.
Oh, yeah, Red 2 needs to be careful here with how he TPs into the lane now, because now that Samson's already been here, I would like to see him stay a little bit longer on Disruptor and try to get a base glimpse on the Shadow Fiend, because that effectively gets Ember completely back in the game. The kill is nice, but he has to walk all the way back to base, so
Lil
Shadow
Nick?
Fiend will get an advantage.
Lil Nick? Oh, no.
Oh, he killed a courier, right?
Yeah, he did.
All right.
I mean, he really showed that courier, but well, DNM showed him. It's now 3-0-1 for the Bloodseeker here in the safe lane. And, you know, Syndra, usually I'm a hater of POS1 Bloodseeker. Like, I really hate this hero. But with a start like this, I mean, it seems like it's going to be a great game. There's bot lane. Well, Sammy's going to get trapped in the shards. He'll go down as well. I don't know. Like, you give a start like this to DNM, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a very snowbally hero by nature, so obviously if you do well in lane in the beginning and you have a good matchup, you are primed for a great game. And it's not just him who's doing well, right? Shadow Fiend is having a good time. Although he got ganked once, he's still ahead of the Ember by a decent amount. And the offlane Witch Doctor also will be, you know, just free farming against Naga carry. You can't really do anything about him. Just switch on the heal, you use your mana boots, and you kill the illusions over time when they try to get CS.
Giant. Pop the stick charges, Fairy Fire. Wolves still going though, he will drop. Red 2 unable to really help him out. Did it bother you at all, by the way, Syndra, that I hate Bloodseeker POS1?
No, I mean, everybody has their preferences. I think the hero, I don't know when you say you hate it, if you think it's not good or if you don't like playing against it. I think it's very good in the right game.
I know you do, because you used to play it a lot.
This is the right game. Did I?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, time to check my profile. Let's see how many games I have on Bloodseeker.
Not POS 1. I think you used to play it mid.
Oh, I've played some offlane Bloodseeker.
Okay.
Predominantly,
All right.
I think. That when it was a thing for a bit. I have a pretty good win rate. 58%. That was surprisingly good.
That's the two heroes I remember. Bloodseeker and Nightstalker with you back in the day.
I have not played Bloodseeker in a pro game, I think.
What?
A single time.
Oh, well, this is embarrassing.
I don't think so. I mean, I do think it's embarrassing, but I don't think I've played it. I don't remember. Maybe you're right. Maybe I've played it once or twice, but it's definitely not been one of my most played heroes.
Moving on.
Snowball.
Moose. In trouble. Sammy's going to get caught out. Here we go, Sammy. Really no escape is going to go down. Top lane in the meantime. Rupture was there, I believe, onto MSS, but he'll just stand his ground along with Lil Nick, so DNM cannot really continue. But
And
he
the thing about that kill they got on the Silencer mid was that they rotated their Lycan and Snapfire off the top lane to kill a support in the river. So now DNM is level 7 against a level 4 Lycan. Like, this top lane is extremely lopsided.
MSS.
Are they going to try? I don't even know if they can beat this guy 1v3. Let's see.
He couldn't possibly man up.
Ah, they probably can.
Okay. I mean, DNM.
We'll see. Yeah, oh, you hit the cookie. All right, that's important. But
Nice cookie. Wolves block as well. Moose going to show up. DNM casually just running out of there as Moose is just manning up here by himself. And now the thirst is really going to make DNM run fast as he comes back in for Sammy. Kiting in and out is DNM.
They could indeed not kill him 1v3. And then Tusk came in and then they actually died one as well. He was out. He didn't even need help, I think. He was actually going to survive. Here comes Red 2 with a raise combo onto Lil Nick. Nice and easy. Yeah, this... I'm going to go ahead and say here that before this series today, I was bold and I was like, all right, I'm going to predict Wildcard to win this series. I feel like that, you know, they still have something to prove. They're going to be in better form today. You know, whatever I kept telling myself. So far, not so good.
Xantic. I mean, he's looking good right now in the mid lane.
He's going to die.
Oh, he is going to die. Never mind.
But he might be looking good, though.
I mean, he looks fantastic. He's a handsome lad, I'm sure. Moose, chance,
Ooh.
not on point.
Barely off. Yeah, I don't know. I felt... I just had this vibe, you know, like Wildcard, all right, they want to prove themselves today, and, well, this is not it for now. They find a pick onto Giant once again with the Wolves in the mid lane, so get a kill onto the Silencer, but there's a lot of ground to cover. You're against a tempo lineup, and you've lost all 3 lanes, and the enemy team can effectively take massive advantage of the fact that you've picked Lycan and Naga in the same strategy, so you have 2 heroes that kind of overlap in weaknesses, which is AoE damage or... enemy team just grouping up, right? These heroes like skirmishes, they like if the fight gets fragmented and they can pincer the supports. But if Fire Red are strong enough and they have auras, you've got some significant damage issues on Wildcard. It's actually an incredible Crimson Guard game now that I look at this. I think the Witch Doctor should buy that, this game. It's currently going Greaves. Like, look at it. It's like Lycan, there's Ember Slight, there's Naga Illusions. Moose?
Yeah, caught out.
He is probably gonna survive, I think. He has 10 sticks and the wave to snowball on.
Oh, boy. He
Yeah,
just
it's okay.
casually gets out of there.
Yep.
It's so rough. Like, they're just finding nothing on the side of Wildcard as they are going to smoke
They
up
smoke
again.
under a ward.
Oh, no.
This is not good. Speed should know this is coming. He's still gonna get glimpsed, though. He had no path away from this.
Nice glimpse. Chains are out. They'll lock him down, and they should have the kill, but Death Ward is there. He's going to try and fight back, but Speed does go down.
Didn't get the Maledict off.
Sadly. Unfortunate. It
Well,
was only level 1.
It's not gonna come for free.
Yeah.
Bonk.
Sammy's gone.
And MSS has to TP away. He got ruptured and dove by DNM. So TPs to the tier 2. He will stabilize, but once again, DNM is just running the town up here. Level 9 against level 5. I can't remember the last time in a Division 1 game that I saw this big of a discrepancy in the lane. There was a game the other day where, I think it was in EU, a Darkseer was also really far behind, like level 4 against 7 or something, but this is pretty extreme circumstances. Lil Nick,
No.
gonna maybe find a cookie here if you wanted to. All right, well, rotating over some heroes, but they're not really bringing the damage, and Witch Doctor's just healing everybody up.
Yeah, he certainly is. It's just so much heal coming in from speed.
Now Lil Nick is gonna die.
He certainly is going to die. Lil Nick's gone.
Fortunately for Wildcard, there's no rupture, so at least the other heroes can run away, but I mean, look at this Witch Doctor. He'll literally just counting their entire lineup, right? Like, all they have is this spread damage, and they have some single target if Lycan gets big enough, but guess what? He's having an awful game, so yeah, it feels like if Wildcard or if 5-Rat 4-Staff just group up their 5 heroes and go for an objective, it's hard for Wildcard to really do anything about it.
It's a very rough scenario right now for Wildcard. Like, I'm kind of
Samson, he's okay.
looking for the saving grace at the moment for Wildcard. Like, I looked at UR and I thought maybe this Naga Siren's got a lot of farm going, but it's not even the case yet.
No.
So it's tough.
And it's also not a free Naga game, even if he was having a good game, right? There's Shadow Fiend has a lot of AoE damage. Bloodseeker is okay because he wants to buy Maelstrom and Mjolnir, right? And or Gleipnir, which it's also an amazing item against the Naga. We've already covered how the Witch Doctor is a decent hero against it as well. So yeah, it's tough times for Wildcard, man. It's not been their season. That's really the story. They've had a rough time. They've got a couple of games here and there, but they haven't won a series. And by the looks of it, this is not going to be the turning point. At least not in game number 1. This recovering this takes some serious dexterity, I think I will call it.
Dexterity's a word, that's for sure.
They need to navigate the map really well and find some key moments where ideally they split up 5-Rat so that Lycan and Naga can pincer heroes and kill them, or Ember can find like a little pick off here or there. They get to play on Glimpse. But as it stands right now, 5-Rat are generally bringing 3 or 4 heroes together while the Bloodseeker farms, and they can probably win the 4v5. So it's tough.
It's very tough, and like DNM's getting towards that BKB now, and I feel like once the BKB's up, he's just going to join his team, and it's going to be so tough for Wildcard to even have a chance to fight back, because they are going to smoke up now. 5-Rat, smoke broken by Xantic. Red will show himself mid lane, would love a chance at the Ember again, but they'll ignore him for now. They'll head up top where Yuar is trying to farm on the Naga Siren. It's like Yuar might just back off at the right time. Don't think he'll go for an extra creep wave.
Don't think they could have killed him anyway with just Tusk and Silencer. I think he's tanky enough to handle that if he tread swaps and uses his wand. He just needs to survive the global and he can song and get out, so. But doesn't matter. He doesn't get caught by the smoke. Yawar with the awareness gets away. But the silver lining here, oh, hang on, Glimpse.
Oh, that kind of helped him.
Yeah, well, he tried to prevent the dewarding with that Glimpse.
At the very least, they protected the Obs Ward. It was
Yeah.
just a sentry going down.
That's true. It's the little victories.
Yeah.
Need a couple of those, Mike.
You certainly do, Cinder. I'm aware. Trust me. Oh, 5-Rat. Bottom lane, looking at MSS now.
He's gonna get ruptured here.
There's no real escape, is there? Blood right, stun, death ward, everything.
Global here to protect against the rotation, which I think was probably well worth it here. They will get glimpsed though.
Yeah, speed. He's still healing so much.
He has mech and 20 on the one. They're not even close to killing this guy. 20 locket, mech, raindrop, and well, the cavalry has arrived. So there goes the Helm of the Dominator creep.
It's just so sad to watch, honestly, right now. 4-13, AK advantage. Wildcard, they're trying their absolute best to put up a fight here against 5-Rat, but it's just such a one-sided affair. And I think it really does go back to the offlane of Wildcard. Like, this Lycan Snapfire of just... I don't want to say they did nothing, but the problem is they did something that wasn't very good, which is feeding the Bloodseeker. And well, he's not even involved in these fights at the moment. He's just chilling. It's very concerning.
And this tandem of Witch Doctor Shadow Fiend is actually really good at taking towers against this lineup because Witch Doctor can keep the wave alive for really, really long with his heal. And SF does significant physical damage, so they're going to take the tower together. Minute 15. They somehow managed to lose it to the creeps. What can you do? Unlucky, but
What can you do?
it's still an objective taken out.
Moose?
It's fun moves.
He does waste his TP, gets chained immediately, but is still going to go for a bit of a run. There's 8 stick charges for himself, but surely just goes down.
Seeds of Serenity as well.
like that's an actual item. Goodness me.
Could have tried.
It's the worst neutral item I've seen since the neutral items came out, honestly. So bad.
It has its moments. It really does. It works on creeps. Did you know?
Oh, very good.
You can use it for pushing tier 1 tower. A little bit.
Thank you for that, Cinder.
It's not great. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that getting improved a little bit. Oh, static storm combo onto red too, and he's just TPing out.
Oh, nice change.
Zantic got there.
Nice change from Zantic.
That's a big kill. It's like a 1,500 gold swing or something because of how far ahead Shadow Fiend is. Okay, 1k. He loses 200. They get 700.
They need it.
They need a couple of those. MSS has used his ult. I'm not sure what the reasoning was. If he thought he was getting ganked and he wanted to run away before Bloodseeker connected, but that's a shapeshift down for a minute and a half, so no plays available for wildcard out of their offlaner. And I wonder what they're going to do now, right? Because the game is in this awkward state where they can't really fight, but they also their ganks are limited to effectively 3 heroes, right? Oh, there's a rupture.
Sammy
is going to get snowballed.
not going to get out. Even the glimpse not pushing him back thanks to the snowball of Moose. Poor old Sammy just copping it here. Is 6-14 now. DNM picking his 7th kill of the game now. Mid lane. Zantic. Cask will land. Melodic is there. Global Silence.
Illu Rune, nicely done.
Illusion Rune was available though. A little bit unlucky for Fiverr.
I mean, they could have checked.
I mean,
They knew he had it. If they would have checked. And then that play doesn't exist, but... That's a pretty good trade. Global Silence for an Illusion Rune. I'll take that if I'm wildcard. Let's see if they can take advantage of this. Because now that Global's down, you have a little bit more leeway. Now Snapfire can use her ulti when it's up. And combining Snap, Disruptor, and Ember with some Lycan Wolves and maybe a Dom Creep using his ult could lead to a fight. They're gonna try on Speed here.
He's not an easy target, but they're
4v1.
gonna give it a crack. Speed, he still has the mech. They'll stun him up. The snowball's gonna buy a bit of time. Speed's still going. Oh, they'll finally take him out. I think he actually turned the heal off the last moment. Nevertheless, a 1-for-1. Definitely a bit of a win here for Wildcard, and they'll take it. They just need to get out of this.
MSS doesn't have boots. Oh my.
Yeah, he's gone. Still red.
Some good damage here. No global, so
It certainly
Red's in
is.
trouble.
Red's gone. And Zantic takes the kill. Tips are out from MSS's Lil Nick now. He might go down, but I'd still call this a win for the side of Wildcard.
That's up for debate. It's a win relative to other things that have happened. You're actually right. They gained like 500 gold, but, you know, that's all right.
Nobody likes a negative Nancy syndrome.
I mean, I'm positive for the other team.
That's true.
Zantic. All right, he just barely got the mana. Now it's TP out of bottom. Could have potentially got scary if he went for another wave with so little mana. Then DNM could have maybe run him down, but he's going to refill.
Sammy.
Yeah, he's caught again. He's dead again.
Poor old Sammy. Tips out again here from Giant. I think Red's going to find himself a double damage rune, and, I mean, with an SF with a DD, that's kind of rough to go against. Here we go. He'll take it for himself. See what he can make happen with this. It does seem like Fiverr just kind of want to run them down here on the side of Wildcard, and here we go. Moose, he's going to find one. A Zantic.
Okay. That was just a freebie from Giant. Literally just walked into him and died to slight chains.
Nice.
That's a little bit of a helping hand.
Any little bit helps here.
Yawar's closing in on Orchid. I am curious to see, because something we saw from Wildcard in previous series this season that was far from ideal was that Yawar was just farming up a lot of items and then they never really got to use them and then they lost. So I hope with this build that he's going to be more involved and that, you know, they can set each other up pretty well. You have Ensnare Orchid to really help your Ember and your Lycan go to town. Samson's going to die again.
He certainly is.
That's his 9th. So he has died as many times as his team has made kills
Oh, good.
at this point. Sorry for being negative, Nancy. It's good for the other team. They've killed him a lot. Well done, Fiverat. And they will be grabbing themselves an Aegis here for Red 2 with that double damage. Very quick with double damage tag team. And now they're going to take over the triangle. And this is where, okay, this is the true challenge now for Wildcard is orchestrating a fight under these conditions because they're not going to be able to avoid it. You can play keep away as much as you want in this game. They're coming for your base. So Fortunately for Wildcard, 5-Rat Forstef, as Fear pointed out in the panel, have had some serious issues going high ground reliably. So maybe they're going to drop the ball a little bit. Maybe you find a good disruptor ulti from Song if they stack up too much, or, you know, a little poke and prod from the Ember could maybe lead to something, but let's see. They're not giving it to them just yet. They're going to take the tier 1. Looks like they're potentially also aiming for the tier 2 here with Red 2.
I mean, why not, right? He's got the Aegis up. He's feeling just so confident right now. It's Red 2. He will indeed go after the tier 2 top tower.
It's an interesting voice line to use when you're 0 and 6. Oh, he's also 0 and 6 in the game. I meant in the division.
Oh, no.
They go for the double dip, Lil Nick. All right.
Oh. I miss PPD. I really do. I wish he was still playing. Here we go. Sammy can't catch a break. He'll go down.
Well, the silver lining here is he's used to it at this point, right? There's diminishing returns on dying. I can tell you that much from games. Like, at some point, it's just like, oh, well, it's just another one, you know? He knows he's not worth very much gold. He's trying to get some vision and information for his team to farm up, and the fact that they're collapsing on him with this many heroes and killing him off, he probably doesn't feel too bad about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's pretty trivial at this point to kill him, but also the reward is very, very uninteresting.
You are?
Yeah, he's under a ward, but he will get out of there.
You know, the one thing I'm upset about with this, these deaths on Sammy is, like, if he didn't get that first kill, we could have actually been playing for the Malk award here for old Sammy, but
That's true.
can't get it now with that one kill he's got.
Maybe Lil Nick will get there.
Oh, true. You did just bring that up.
I mean, going 0-20 on Snapfire would be incredible. This hero has a really easy time finding kills when it is involved, so you need to be really unlucky to not find like one kill with Scatter Blast or more kisses, right?
That's fair.
But I mean, he's a third of the way there. I don't see it personally.
Not an easy award to achieve, that's for sure.
It's not. Has it ever happened since in a pro game? I think it hasn't.
I don't think it... I mean, it was such an impressive feat by old Malk.
Yeah.
I missed that guy too, actually, now that we bring him
Legend
up.
of the game.
It really was. Let's just take it easy for now. 5-Rat just setting up for maybe high ground, but I think it's maybe a little bit too early. Still 23 minutes in.
I mean, I think they're capable, to be honest, because of the Witch Doctor. I think they can sustain themselves enough. They have the Aegis. The Shadow Fiend hits it really hard. He has the little 15 talent. The presence against buildings will give -6. So, trying for the Manta dodge. They're cute, but irrelevant. Oh, Ember. Global.
Oh, he got silenced. Global was
Oh, they
there.
have okay, well, this is a... Yeah, okay, they were not in position to do this. Well, that's a global out the window. So
That's a start.
That's a start for Wildcard. Where is Naga? Naga is just letting them take the base. He is not coming back. Yawar feels like he needs to farm his heart as well. That's going to be the death of Samson, probably. He's going to die to the curse.
He will.
And this is going to be Elena Barracks. Naga is not showing up. They will concede this one. They feel like they can't fight. I can't fully blame them for it. I feel like this fight would be really hard to take, but the problem is... Now you just threw kisses away as well. Now they can just go for another lane.
Oh, it's a big mess here in the Radiant base. Silencer's there. Not going to be quite enough to deal with the Ember, but it won't matter. They found the bot racks basically for free. In fact, they got more than they anticipated with the kisses and everything else being expended. And,
I mean, with the amount of resistance they were just met with, just go mid, right? Like,
yeah.
It looks like Wildcard are uninterested in taking this fight until Naga has heart, and it's still going to be a little while. Oh, they found Red. He's stuck around, tried for the Manta dodge again, failed it another time. It's a pretty narrow window. Good BKB usage, though.
Yeah, but Xantic's got his own. Remnant's away. Remnant's back in. Tries to go after speed. Wants that Witch Doctor gone first, but he's dealing way too much damage on Red too. Red will back off. Static Storm will lock him in with the kinetic field, so they've got speed trapped up, but he's still just kind of healing through it.
Healthy. He still has the sticks. Now Greaves already again.
Oh, this hero, man,
It's
it's
fine.
too much.
I will say this game also makes it look probably better than it is in reality. I'm a big fan of this build and this hero, by the way, being played like this, like we saw from Nouns in this Division 1, and we've seen it played by Ace from Gaming Gladiators together with IO as well. I think it can be really cool, but like this is also just an extreme case of the enemy team just does not have meaningful damage, right? They have the one time they piled on him with Naga, they kind of got the job done, but these heroes poking and prodding, that's not how you kill this hero. You need to collapse, you need to overwhelm him, and this healing doesn't get to offset so much damage.
Wildcard, they're not out of the game one yet, but it's believe the heart is incoming now for UR, so we'll see if he can actually make any kind of use of that. Bit of split pushing here from MSS as well. So you do have the bonus of this really annoying kind of split pushy draft here from Wildcard. In fact, I said the heart was coming out, but it was the recipe. He still just needs the vitality booster.
There's 700 to go. I mean, you can still, once again, you could go mid as 5 red. You don't have Aegis now, though, so maybe they're going to take it easy and handle their side lanes. They're killing the Drake top. Moose plus red, but another one was claimed here by MSS. He took over a Centaur Conqueror, so they didn't get any bounty for that Drake. But at the end of the day, they're going to, you see the drawing on the map right now also coming out from Moose. Push out top wave, we're going to go there. So whenever you've taken a bottom barracks like this, obviously that lane is always going to be pushing in your favor. So even if Naga is being annoying down here, it's unlikely that she will reach a position where she can start threatening your own base. So if you play mid and top waves now, you push those in, you're effectively controlling the entire map against the lineup you're facing. And then you can look for a smoke kill, or you can look to just straight up go high ground if you want. See what the play of choice will be here for 5rat. Currently just chilling, playing the enemy triangle, waiting for the top wave to arrive. Wonder if they'll go high ground with this or not. Giant rocking the Veil drums. He's pretty farmed for his standards on the silencer.
Certainly so.
And Tusk is closing in on a BKB with Dagger.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they've got money.
Uh-oh.
Moolah.
UR. He just got his heart. So he's got no buyback gold.
Yeah. Moose is hounding him.
He is. UR does have help around the corner. Nobody joining in. They just know UR. They're going to cancel this TP.
Cancel TP. Yeah, exactly. They're going to go high ground here, and Moose will just try. If Moose gets a TP cancel here on Yawar, they lose the second lane of barracks because they can't fight without this Naga.
Have they not? They saw him. They know he's here.
It's taking them so long, though.
Oh, no.
They almost lost the top tower already. There's the Orchid, but can't connect. And now, if Naga walks down these stairs, he will actually have eyes on her again. Well, that's the tower gone.
Certainly is. One
All right,
TP.
he's coming back now. So now Yawar ready to do some hero damage once again.
Let's see it happen. I mean, that is if 5rat stick around. They will, for now. Smoke is there. UR still frontlining for the team. Ensnare is out, but he's still just hitting the racks. Song is there to set up. Static Storm could be very nice from Sammy onto 3. They're going to try Wolfform pop. No, they'll go for the backside. They'll try for the silencer. Make sure there's no global silence, but the heals are incoming. They can't kill him. He's full HP. He's just full HP thanks to speed. Oh, and UR's gone.
Why did they
I don't know.
drop everything on the silencer?
I think they just wanted to get rid of global silence.
Yeah, I understand that, but like you said, there was a 3-hero setup Static Storm, right?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe 2 of them had BKB, so maybe the play didn't exist regardless, but that setup is just, like, even if you kill him, so what, right? You use Song, you use Static, you use additional spells, and you don't even know if he has buyback global either, which he did. So the global would have not been taken out of play regardless. Heal, says Red, that's correct. Very observant of you.
Very good.
That's Megas.
It is indeed Megas. Lil Nick's in. Double Cookie is
Lil
there.
Nick's out.
Lil
To the
Nick.
graveyard.
Bye-bye, Lil Nick. Might be time to make that call, boys. Silence is there on Tamu. He is still just perfectly fine to walk away. It seems the speed is not letting the man die. No soldier left behind, it seems, as 5rat, they'll just go back in. Exantic, he's gone. No buyback on him. GG's called.
GG.
They've had enough.
Well,
Not much to say about that one, Syndra.
no, there just isn't, right? I mean, like we said when we were setting the stage for this has not been a good season for Wildcard, right? But I dare I say this has been their worst individual game they've played. Like this left a lot to be desired. They lost all 3 lanes. 5rat made the vast majority of the moves. They're kind of playing a game of catch-up the whole time to try to get items that in the end didn't really matter. They lost the Roches, they lost the towers, they lost the triangle. It was not good. Now the silver lining is, it can't get much worse than this. So second game, I do expect them to do better than this. Let's see if they can step it up enough to grab a win.
Well, let's see if our panel has anything to say about this game one. Panel?
Thank you very much, Mike and Sind. Yes, indeed. That was painful. That was painful. You know, seeing these players in this position on the side of Wildcard, you know, we talked it up. We were like, hey, this is the bottom. You know, only way to go here is up. But yeah, they went lower. That was bad.
It was, but hey, at least Sindarin is giving silver linings ×2. You know, Sammy Boy, he's used to dying. And again, of course, it really can't be worse than this, right? Wild card, they couldn't get anything established in the laning stage. It was basically, when I was looking at what happened after the laning stage, was 5-rat 4K ahead at 8 minutes, 6K ahead at 12 minutes. They're gaining almost nearly 1,000 gold per minute advantage on the side of 5-rat. And that is a lot of gold to kind of build a comeback, you know?
That is a lot of gold indeed. And I think the big part of this game, the big story is going to be in the top lane there. I expected a lot more. MSS, he used to be an offlaner, moved to support. They made the role swap. Lil Nick is now playing support. MSS in the off lane. It did not work out.
It did not work.
They got
Not at all.
destroyed in that top lane. I was looking at 11 minutes in the game here. I had a level 5 Lycan, a level 5 Snapfire, and a level 5 Disruptor at 11 minutes into this game. And it doesn't get much more rough than that. So I think they really need to focus on maybe picking something a bit stronger for their laning stage. That one's pretty much a given based on how this game went. But it mainly was in that top lane there.
I mean, at least you can put it down to like a failed experiment, you know, right? Like you can say, hey, didn't work, let's go next, you know, bring it back to normal perhaps. There's excuses to be made, but at the end of the day, you know, for a team of this caliber, we don't expect this kind of performance coming out from them, and this one was super rough. This was really bad. I mean, at least we can look at 5-rat 4 stuff and say, hey,
yeah,
they got a small advantage in the draft, you know, we liked what they were doing, and then they just came out and, you know, did not fall at all, did not falter once. There was maybe 1 or 2 deaths which got punished by the SF and 1 or 2 little misplays here, but I think overall, a really, really clean game coming out from 5-rat.
It was. They dominated the safe lane, they dominated the mid lane, and off lane wasn't too bad either. You had the Witch Doctor versus the Naga, which we did discuss a little bit, that what is the matchup really like, but when those supports click into the picture, Witch Doctor and Tusk actually allow you to put that pressure against that Naga, while the Naga should probably be like, oh, I'm okay with what happens here, but doesn't really do anything else in this game except farm, farm, farm. When you've lost those 2 other lanes, where are you going to get that? And like you said, 3 5-level heroes at 10 minutes when the enemy wants to fight, you're not in for a good time.
Yeah, that was really bad. I mean, how does that happen, such a massive XP disparity?
In which lane, sorry?
I mean, in all lanes. They
just
had
in-
3 heroes who were level 5 at 11 minutes.
Lilik was giving like solo kills, so that's worth a lot of
They
experience.
got double kill first blood on the top lane,
Yeah.
so that was like at level 2. So that lane was just completely over just from minute 2.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
mid lane, you can't expect Ember to win versus SF. That matchup is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, it's kinda locked
And then
in.
we get in a situation yet again with UR, or whether he's playing the Naga, the Wraith King yet again, he's just on a hero that is gone for 30 minutes. We're not going to see him. If your 2 side lanes aren't making space for that, that hero is not going to carry the game for you. Not a chance.
No. There were some moments of hope when they managed to get on the SF, but ultimately, you know, it just felt like from the laning phase onwards, they just didn't stand a chance. Hopefully, next game, they can get on the lanes, but we do have to look over towards 5-rat 4 stuff and say, who was our MVP? Firstly, give me a runner-up, T-Panda.
A runner-up, or the actual... Okay, so runner-up, I would say Moose, potentially. Pretty good game on the Tusk. Showed a lot of dominance this game, a lot of vision, a lot of activity, contesting a lot, and being like, I would say... what's the next word you'd say for aggressive? Not like over-aggressive,
Passive.
but I would say courageous.
Courageous.
Oh,
wow.
like another word
Strong
for
word,
aggressive,
strong
not
word.
the opposite. Oops.
Okay,
Got the
well,
assignment wrong.
yeah, got confused. Well, our MVP for this game one, the number 1 player was, of course, DNM on the Bloodseeker. Unfortunately, we don't have the graphics for it, but of course, I've stepped in, and there you go. There's a little Bloodseeker there, looking a bit rotund, but he was very fat this game, so that works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's a zombie there too, a little bit.
Like a zombie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does seek blood, you know, so do zombies. They got a lot in common. Maybe the cousin of a zombie. But that's going to do it for game number 1. Wildcard getting absolutely smashed and trashed in the first game here. Can they turn it around and make an appearance in game number 2? You have to wait to find out. We're going to throw it into a break, and then we're going to be back with match number 2. It's Wildcard Gaming versus 5-Rat 4-Staff, game number 2 here at the NADPC. Game number 1, unfortunately, Wildcard Gaming just didn't really put up much of a fight at all. They got stomped in the lane, so from that point onwards, 5-Rat 4-Staff had the kind of draft which were able to choke them out and make it a clean game number 1. Obviously, we're looking at the draft, we're looking at things they can improve for the side of Wildcard. Looking back on that first phase for them, what would you now change?
I'm trying to remember the first phase.
I'm just trying to get over the fact
blanking.
that
So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
went Tusk first pick on 5-Rat 4-Staff, which was...
It went Tusk into SF, and then they responded with Ember. I'd replaced the Ember already, and then they had Disruptor. Disruptor's fine.
Disruptor Ember was
Yeah.
that one, was that 2-3.
Asking a question you don't even answer to. Okay.
I know. I took a risk. Didn't pay off.
I also wanted to answer a bit differently because it felt like we were watching a Division 1 versus Division 2 team. I feel like the skill disparity outside of the drafts looked so different between these two teams. And when you think about the names that are on the side of Wildcard, we talk about this a lot, right? The names on this team, the ex-Quincy crew, the stand-in from Hustlers and stuff like that. It's basically like there's so much promise in the team, but they were nowhere near as the level of 5-Rat, which has also been a somewhat underwhelming team this season, but looked so dominating. It's like, what is really the biggest weakness of Wildcard here that they get that trashed in a laning stage?
Team morale.
Team morale, I think
think
is
so.
the golden
That's what I was
meat
talking
right now.
about, like in the pre-series and why I'm going with 5-Rat. They looked pretty good in most of their series. They didn't win them, of course.
Yeah.
But then they got a very convincing 2-0, and then from there it seemed like their morale went up. They looked like they're feeling like they should be a team that should get some wins. They knew they're going to Division 2. They weren't like too hung up on them out. They might stay together as well, and it looked a little promising. But for Wildcard, a lot of prestigious players. I think they're all back their minds whether they want to or not, being very much so in a situation where they don't want to be in this position, feel like they shouldn't be in this position, and now they're in a game where they haven't really had any highs yet. It's pretty much
Yeah.
all been lows, and they haven't tasted that success yet, other than that one win against TSM, but I'm sure they didn't really take that too much to heart.
Exactly. And it's do or die time. There's no more second chances. This is where you have to make it work.
Yeah, and of course, for some teams that can be like a huge kind of fire lit within you, and for other teams it can just be like, well, it's the end of the road. You know, it's whatever. Let's just turn up, play our games,
Exactly.
you know, no prep, walk into it, see what happens. But let's give a shout out to our partners at esportsbet.io because they have launched a new watch to earn platform. It's an innovative new platform where you can earn to 3,000 free tokens per hour, which is the equivalent of $3 per hour, simply by watching your favorite teams compete across the Western EU and North America Dota 2 regions. There is no need to place a bet to start earning tokens. Just head over to esportsbet.io, make an account, and start earning your tokens today and engage with the community over there and have a great time. And now we can get into the draft for game number 2. It is Wildcard versus 5-Rat 4-Staff battling it out here. Of course, to recap you guys, if 5-Rat 4-Staff take another win here, they'll be 2-5. It does not save them from relegation, but it does keep their $1,000 extra. Meanwhile, Wildcard will be stuck at the bottom at 0-7, which for this team is just insane. Insane.
Takes away the possibility of the tiebreaker for that extra 1K. 23K for 7th. Still not a bad paycheck, nevertheless, but it's more than 22. However, again, no shifts with the draft, the drafting order. Let's put it that way. We got a Dire first pick and Radiant second pick. Radiant is the side that is more victorious compared to any other region. Radiant being stronger than the Dire side, but it didn't really show in any way in that last game because you don't actually get to play the map itself.
All right, changing it up.
I mean, I think the change up that Wildcard is desperately needing is to all in on UR. Make sure you play in a way where UR is in a situation where he gets all the farm, you play around him, make sure his timings are what wins you the game, and you have to make sure your cores have a good enough game to get you to that stage. Last game, we saw the Ember early. He couldn't win versus SF. An impossible matchup. He couldn't make any space from. We also picked the Lycan and the Bloodseeker. Sure, that matchup is fine if you have a good laning stage. It can be okay, but if the lane goes that poorly, it's not going to happen. So I really want to see them pick a lot of auras, just group up a lot, stabilize their lanes. I think that's a big thing. And then if you are a hero that can hit Roche and hit buildings, play around some timings, some simple timings, preferably. Maybe not like the Naga timings, but pick a hero like Drow Ranger, or Ursa, something that can just get a BKB, a blink, be online very quickly, and then start balling up and making stuff happen.
Also, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to mention, to follow up on the back of that, you talked about the importance of stabilizing your lanes here. They go for this early Pangolier pick on the side of Wildcard, and it's immediately answered by an Ember Spirit. Of course, Red 2 being a Pango specialist, and you mentioned last draft about the Pangolier being answered by the Ember. So is this already a concern for you, or do you think this Pangolier can be flexed?
They can definitely flex it. I believe Lil Nick will return to the offlane if they do. I don't think MSS has played a lot of this. But it also might just be mid. It's not a matchup that's like unplayable by any means. But I believe any opportunity to give Ember a good laning stage, and especially one where even you come ahead, is a win. Because this hero is so powerful when you do get farm. And Pango is a hero that he'll do good in this lane. He'll do fine, he just might not win. It's a little concerning a bit. I'd rather see 2 supports, or most teams open with their offlaner right there. They'll pick like some really toxic dual offlane that is really not easy to answer. And it puts you on the situation where it's like, all right, answer this, go for it. But when you pick your mid there, and then they answer it that hard, it's a problem.
And that also comes to the idea I had before when you were talking about that specific topic about supports, is I have no faith in the Snapfire currently. It feels like it's so easy to counter with a support on a support, and it is the Silencer.
They banned it.
Snapfire's win rate is 28%, while Silencer is undefeated right now. Has won every single game where he's been picked against the Snapfire, and just hinders another support's capability in actually participating in the game. It's just about the cookie, and the Scatter Blast, it kind of fades off. You need a Blink Dagger to get the stun with it, and then you're putting a somewhat weak-ish hero, because it's a support. It doesn't really scale in HP a lot. If you played it as a 3 or a 2, you could pack like 2 to 3k HP on the hero and be fine with Blink initiating on it. But we'll see. We'll see. Silencer's banned out, so they could still keep it open.
I agree with you.
With those stats, though, it is Snapfire's been like a favorite of Wildcard, right? So probably affects things quite a lot.
Oh, yeah. 3 different roles for it, too.
The good old Undying Drow second phase.
In the second phase, yeah. That's pretty wild.
Just as hard to answer in the second phase as it is in the first phase.
Maybe even harder, because you've already a few picks deep.
Back to comfort.
Yep.
But like this hero is like, it has simple timings, sure. It's pretty good versus the Ember, terrible versus the Drow. So.
One
is
plus
what
one.
it is.
Mediocre pick.
I mean, he doesn't see his offlane matchup as well. I mean, Morph, generally speaking, does pretty well versus most offlaners. In fact, bullies a lot of them. But it's the summon units specifically that Morph does struggle a bit against. Or if you can get like some cheeky silence on them, but that's not going to happen in this matchup whatsoever. So they're going to ban the Enigma. If NP, it's already banned. So he should have a fine laning stage on the Morphling. But you have the hypothermia on the Drow. You have the
big one.
Piercing. This is even bigger. You pierce all agility as a Drow. So like, and if you ever start hitting Morph as a Drow, this hero dies instantly. Which is why most of the time, if you see a Drow pick, you want more. You want a Drow. I can't even think of the hero right now. Drow Ranger as your answer to that hero. So it's comfort though. UR loves this hero.
Yeah, is that maybe more important than the matchups?
No, not really. I think UR is a really good player with a big hero pool. I think he's just struggling to find what to pick with this team. It is higher tempo. It's not going to be the Naga that's split pushing the whole game. It can join earlier. As I mentioned before, you can still Tombstone, you can still Ember Spirit, or become them rather, not steal it. And those spells will be very powerful to help them in the team fights.
For sure. And, they have some form of answer to the Drow Ranger. It's not like it's a catchless lineup. You've got a Clockwork, you've got a Pangolier, so there's options. It's still very good, though, from Five Out. I'm definitely favoring their draft at the moment, and it looks like they've got a lot of bases covered. I'd like to see an offlaner with some nice big stuns coming out from them. Give me something like, what? Is there a Visage in the pool?
I was just curious about the Enigma ban, because we've yet to see a speed Enigma, but then I did look up that he's been playing it in third-party tournaments 5-6 times inside the last 8 months, so I guess he could have pulled it out, but
yeah, I'm not sure offlane what's really good versus Morph right now. I know the summon units have always been good just because Morph has
Lycan's
so
the one you
much.
usually look for, right?
It's okay. I think that it can work as long as you know you're not going to get bullied out of the lane, or they can right-click you down. When you have a Tusk, you can't guarantee that, so that might be a little harder. It's just like Morph's right-click damage is super high. I get this as a way of dealing with it, so I'm kind of explaining what Morph is good at. He has really high base damage, so normally the summoned heroes allow you to match him in CS, but now you're Underlord. You gain plus damage, you reduce his damage a little bit. Now you can actually CS against him.
Offlane Tango as well. Xantic takes mid Timber. I was thinking if they put it off lane, because that would have been comfort for Lil Nick. The time we've seen him play DP and Timbersaw, he's been absolutely the best, but he's also played 1 or 2 games of the Pango. At Zantic Timber, though, that's something I've seen multiple times, and it has worked out. It's been pretty good. Thing is, does he build the Meteor Hammer to get some extra push going? Because they can't really push them. They don't push towers with this lineup, except Morphling later on in the game.
You wait for Morph, I think.
I mean, Timber takes towers just by being Timber.
Yeah.
You take them faster with Meteor Hammer, but then you...
In the off lane, yeah, but as a mid...
Well, if you don't take the tower, then you're forcing all the supports to go mid, and you're just killing their heroes because you're stronger. It really depends on how this mid matchup's going to go. I've seen this Ember do really well versus Timbers in the past, but mainly it's a Timber favored matchup. That's why he picked it. But I'm a little afraid as well. It's like, you're playing the mid Timber. It's not versus strength hero. Can you destroy the lane? And what are you going to do after that?
That is a question. That is a question. And one more thing I like about this Underlord pick from Speed, by the way, is that versus the Morphling, he's now in this catch-22 situation where if he's high agi, it's the Drow destroying him. If he goes full strength, then you're going to have that Firestorm doing a ton of damage to him. So really tricky situation. I won't be surprised. I'm guessing we're all going 5 rank 4 staff again because they just look like the better team. And also this draft looks pretty damn tasty for them. And we also got a pretty damn tasty casting duo. It's MLP and Cinderin.
Thank you so much, Nomad Syndrome. Let me tell you, that the one thing panel don't understand. I woke up today.
Okay.
And I was watching...
They don't understand that.
No, they don't. And I was watching Game Leave, right? Speed said Underlord is broken right now, Aura meta. It was literally about this hero in particular.
Okay.
I can't wait to see what happens.
All right. The panel don't understand this because...
They don't get it.
Okay. Yeah, they just don't get it. They all said Underlord is terrible here.
They just don't get it. What can you do?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see if Wildcard can step it up from the last game, because that was a very one-sided affair. I'm a little bit worried for them predominantly because of the Morph pick into Drow. This is considered one of Drow's best matchups carry to carry. However, the Timber against Ember, we actually saw that earlier. I want to say it was today in China. It was played by Nothing to Say. He played the Timbersaw mid and did a really good job against Ember and snowballed out of the lane, and they kept just pressuring the map, taking towers, and they won really quickly against Aster. The thing is, the supporting cast around Timber was very different by nature in that game. They had a lone druid safe lane carry, so they were taking towers fast and just rolling over the map. I do believe that was the same game. It was 2 relatively quick ones, but all right, Sam, it's going to be playing the Clockwork this time.
Comes back.
Coupling up with MSS, decent damage. Speed will be okay though. Underlord's very tanky level 1, but they put a dent in him.
Certainly did. It's going to be just fine to walk his way out. Obviously, the Ring of Health rush here for Speed, which is pretty standard, I'd say, for this Underlord right now. Mid lane is where we'll start. At Zantic on that mid Timber like you talked about. Against Red 2's Ember, we know this man really enjoys playing this Ember. It's basically Pango Ember SF that we usually see this man on.
Yeah.
What do you think about the matchup, though?
Yeah, I'm curious, because Zantic plays a good Timber. We'll see who's the formidable laner. From my perspective, I learned something new today. I thought this lane was kind of a draw, but it turned out Timber could win this lane by a meaningful margin. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say it's a Timber favorite matchup, and we'll see if Red 2 is up to the task here. So far, so good. I guess as a little asterisk, he's probably the one playing on the better ping. We haven't really talked about that, but at Zantic being that stand-in will have a ping disadvantage. Not that you can use that as a crutch for every argument, but it matters.
It certainly does. I saw that bot lane. Sammy was doing a very good job of just kind of forcing Speed out of the lane, and Yuazi even just making sure Speed cannot do what he wants in this bottom lane, as they are kind of going to go at it. Speed not able to actually have a creep wave right now, relying on Moose to pull the waves for him.
It's making a double.
He does go for the double kind of pull on the wave.
It's like Team Rocket, right?
Yes, it is.
How is it the saying goes in Pokemon?
Oh, now you're really taking me back.
Something trouble and let's make it double.
Correct.
But I
prepare for trouble.
Prepare for trouble. There it is.
Moose.
All right.
He was not prepared for trouble. He's in trouble now, and he's going to go down. You are able to take him out. Tips out from Sammy immediately. This time to you are, though. And Speed, he at least gets 3 creeps his way, and the equilibrium should be set his way eventually, but it's a very rough start for the map.
Yeah, this is a great turn of events for Wildcard compared to the previous game. This time around, this is definitely a lane that they're winning currently. building a pretty meaningful advantage to start out. And Underlord as a hero doesn't really thrive when he falls behind by a good amount against this kind of lane. Morphling has the luxury against this hero of having mixed damage types. It's really good to have magic damage against Underlord. Obviously, he covers some of your physical parts, but if he doesn't have the Ring of Health, they can actually spam him out of lane with the Morph just using Adaptive Strike non-stop. So that bit of an advantage early on will be good. Of course, the trade-off is that the top lane should just be, I mean, it's Undying Drow against off-lane Pango. Good luck, you know?
Yeah.
There is no way in hell Lil Nick will ever win this lane. He's going to do his damnedest, but this is... I will be surprised if he has half of Drow's CS minute 10.
Yeah, I mean, Undying Drow is such a potent duo. Mid lane, a bit of aggression, nothing to write home about. I'll tell you what, Cinder, and I was very shocked, right? Because Undying, his win rate just continues to go up. Like, no matter what they do to the thing, he just keeps winning.
Yeah. It's sometimes, even though the hero got nerfed a little bit, sometimes it's about, well, if other heroes get nerfed more, or the heroes that do get nerfed are his counters, or if the meta develops in such a way that even though he is nerfed, he's still the best at what he does, the hero can still be incredible. And he is the lane boss together with Ench, I would say, in this patch. Enchantress is also being rated exceptionally highly, especially in the China region. It's being a first pick there. Okay. And Europe has caught on a little bit. We saw Gaming Gladiators run it on Celery with great success. But yeah, Undying is definitely still one of the ones. Tombstone being dropped here by Giant. Should be okay on the side of Wildcard, but they are being zoned out. It should be more free farm for DNM. He's now 16 for 6 against Pango 7-0, so already being doubled up.
Trying to get the denial from the Tombstone here top lane. He's going to be able to get it here. Very, very nice.
Looked like some miscommunication there between MSS and Lil Nick. That's a very easy Tombstone to get. Lil Nick just needs to run over and hit it at the same time as MSS, and they get that bounty for it. And that's actually a meaningful amount of gold. It's the same as 2.5 CS that the Pango could have got there if they would have killed it together.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, after game 1, they may have muted each other, you know? Lil Nick is back on the pause 3, so you never know. Bottom lane, Sammy. Going to be just fine. Cogs is his way out of that one.
Decent trade again, though, for Wildcard here in this bot lane. Moose is out of mana. He has 1 mango. He's going to use that now, but can't really do a meaningful spell combo here against Yawar, who also has waveform at the ready. Samson's going to go in and put some pressure. He is level 3 on the Clockwork. This is a major breaking point for this hero. More than doubles the damage of Battery Assault. Goes from 20 to 45. And you see countless times that whenever Clockwork hits level 3, stuff just tends to happen.
Certainly does.
I missed the shards here, though, so not too much going the other way, but Sam is now out of mana. He has to send out mangoes, and the courier is pretty damn slow right now, so we'll be a little while before he can make his next aggressive move. He could Battery Assault, but he won't have mana for Cogs, so Speed could probably walk it off.
Certainly. Does have the Ring of Health as well, so he can just kind of sit back for a bit, reset. As Sammy now going to be the one in danger down at bot lane. Go after him. He does get the Cogs off, so it looks like he is going to be just fine. You are also intervening on the Morphling, but can't really do too much. In fact, he's trapped up at the moment. Does have waveform,
yeah. Surprised he chose to take that many hits before he waveformed. I mean, yeah, sure, you're Morph and you can attribute shift, but there's some unnecessary damage there. And worth keeping in mind, Yawar is not going Lincolns first. He went Treads, and this means that he's actually susceptible in this lane a little bit to potentially getting killed. If Underlord harasses him down far enough, it's going to take him a little bit of time to get that health back. And with a Tusk Snowball being clutch, they could kill him from Fog in the Firestorm.
Mid lane, Red going to be targeted here. MSS with a Haste Rune going to be able to keep up and get the Glimpse back here onto the Ember. Red unable to juke out the Glimpse as he should go down, and he will. So Wildcard doing a pretty damn good job of shutting down the Ember just a little bit.
Yep.
And in terms of CS, Xantic's been having a very good time.
Yeah, this is a great rotation. You're taking advantage of Timber hitting the 6 before Ember. You really want to get that kill, and he just barely got the 6 after, or when as he was dying on the Ember, so wasn't able to jump away. They get the Glimpse and take him out. So yeah, nicely done there by Wildcard, enabling effectively 2 cores now. Both Timber and Morph are having pretty good starts. My biggest question mark is how are they going to bring Lil Nick into the game? That is still the one that's tough. But if Timber saw his snowballing, he could maybe put so much pressure that that'll enable Lil Nick over time. MSS has rotated bottom. Speed
in trouble.
Is going to die as well.
He certainly will. He's gone. Wildcard already doing a much better job here in game 1, I'll tell you. Looks like much more of a team than we saw the first game around. And
Maybe all it took was for MSS to play support. It seems to be making a difference here.
top lane.
Samson's trying to kill the tombstone. He will eventually get it here, but he has taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, looks like they want the kill, though. You say that. I mean, there is a TP coming in. Xantic wants to save the day. High fives up from Lil Nick. They know they've got the kill, and DNM does go down. Giant trying to run. Sammy hands over the tip. And poor old Giant probably going to go with his Drow, as they should. Red, I mean, you saw the rotation from the Ember, but he's way too late to the party.
Yeah, ends up just copping half his health and damage for no reason, so even an added benefit. And would you look at that wild card with a gold lead now? 5 kills, 8 minutes in. Yawar is still doing okay in the bottom lane, and yeah, they've been moving around pretty well with their support duo. I like that they're moving together when it makes sense on the Disruptor and Clock, and not just one of them at a time, to make sure that these plays are successful. And they're going to try to go for DNM now by the looks of it. MSS is TP top with a level 2 glimpse. Can't quite reach, though. And this is probably just not going to turn into anything until the Clockwork arrives. Trying to force it a little bit here with Lil Nick. TP rotation, though. Tusk is coming in.
Oh, Moose gets a snowball. Lil Nick going a little bit too far. Glimpses out, but it's already too late.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Meanwhile,
was just not a pretty go to begin with.
No.
The Pango going into tower, I'm not really sure what they were trying to accomplish with that. That play didn't exist with the 2 heroes they had regardless. They couldn't have killed him.
they're still trying.
They might get it here with this glimpse.
Sammy.
He has Gust, but misses it entirely.
Whoopsie daisies. DNM not going to be too happy about that. And I mean, they do eventually get it at the very least. So yeah, a bit of a mess up, but you know, you got the kill you came for.
Yeah. Drow found almost level 7. I guess she could like start transitioning into jungle if she wants to not be in this top lane, which seems to be a very strong focal point right now for Wildcard. But at the same time, they also maybe want to look mid with their Timber. This tower mid is pretty low. We're approaching the 10-minute mark for the catapult wave. And I think Wildcard would be wise to bring heroes to this 10-minute timing and get that tower together. We have a little bit of a situation similar to previous games. Samson here actually going to find Moose. There's a tombstone, though.
There is a tombstone. Snowball's going to buy time. Red's going to rotate over, and MSS is going to be the target, though. Moose is gone. Here comes DNM, though. They found MSS. They might have Sammy. Lil Nick going to go for the Rolling Thunder as Sammy's still going. Does get a very nice cogs off. Oh, and they're trapped up. Nevertheless, they get pushed back out. Speed's here with the Fiend's Gate, but DNM is down, and Speed needs to get the hell out of there. Giant's gone as well. Wildcard, they'll keep going.
Oh, Yawar turns into red 2 there. Gets a slight chains, but it's only level 1 chains. Obviously obtains the same level of spells as Ember has, so if that was a higher level chain, that would have been another kill for Wildcard. But yeah, still pretty good. They take down the Drow. They force the Underlord ulti to no avail. And now with the 10-minute, let's see. So the Siege Wave is mid. MSS has rotated over in the Disruptor. He's level 6, so now Static Storm unlocked. And it looks like this tower... It looks like 5 Red are probably not going to just give it up without a fight.
TP's bottom. Speed. Cogs out again. Sammy just always in the right position this game number 2. Yua's going to show up as well here on the Morphling. Feeling like he's able to get the damage out, and Speed is dropping rather quickly. And Xantic going to ensure they do secure the kill on this mid-timber. 11-3 now. 5 Rat 4-star.
Yep.
They are struggling.
This rotation meant that they didn't get mid-tower, though. Because this was a trade-off that they chose to take, killing the Underlord and leaving their Siege Wave alone. So now, as a matter of fact, it's 5 Rat doing some damage here.
Oh, Sammy.
Samson.
He's in again.
Nice static combo, too.
It certainly was. They're going to find Red too. Oh, Sammy. He's feeling it now. Glimpse back. Snowball is going to juke that out. Moose. Still targeted.
I'll be honest, Mike, I don't understand this team. Like, where was this last game? It's like they needed to warm up, and now they're doing shit, you know?
I mean,
all their moves are successful, they're playing together, they're just outplaying them.
They need to get their energy from the anger, you know? They need to be upset first before they really get going. And, well, there you go, Moose is down.
Where I'm from, we call that breakfast. But, you know, whatever you want to call it, whatever they're doing is working. DNM, going to get jumped on by Yawar. There is rotation coming over. MSS Glimpse, cooldown 5 seconds. We'll get the field down. Surprised they're not committing more for this. Yawar wants to be Superman and will... Oh, he missed. Oh, wait for him.
Oh, he's so close.
Oh,
there you go.
Adzantic will take care of business.
Beautiful.
He's pretty low on the mana, though.
Gets a chain away. TP out.
Oh,
Snowball. Not the one, that's for sure. He should drop and will.
That's
Meanwhile,
a huge kill. He was on a
Giant-
6-kill streak.
Still after Yawar here. Counter Tombstone dropped by Yawar. Red in the meantime kills off Sammy. Pit and Malice on the high ground, gonna make sure they lock down the Morphling, but
Yawar's just stuck here. He doesn't have a TP. I think he was trying to TP from up there, so... I mean, this is really awkward. You need to waveform down eventually. They're going to see him now with the Underlord. And they have a lot of heroes that can connect it. Yawar is not safe to just run down here.
uh-oh.
Oh my goodness, this is ugly. Oh no.
I mean,
Oh boy.
it happens.
I feel like sometimes I have superpowers. Like the moment I praise them, it
Yeah.
all goes to shit. And until that, everything was going right when I was doubting the most. And I was like, oh, after that game 1, I was like, okay, this is just, they're just not on today. And then they're doing great. But now, how the tides can turn very quickly. This game is basically equalized. 5-Rat 4-Staff are going to take bot tower. In the meantime, they might even still be able to defend their own mid since Timbersaw doesn't have a wave with him just yet. They're going to
Sammy.
hook shot.
Onto Red,
Static
Static Storm. It is there, and
Oh, nice kill.
very nice. Yeah, I mean,
They're getting so much more out of the support duo this game than the last game. It's like night and day.
that's exactly what I was about to say. The support duo is just doing so much work for Wildcard.
And now they get the tower because they made that kill. Nicely done.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is
There you go, 16 to 6, 1k advantage for Wildcard. Still, you know, nowhere near a kind of huge kind of lead for them, but at the very least, a much closer game than what we saw last time around.
Giant's toast.
Yeah, he certainly is.
This is just a free Timber game. Like, he can do whatever he wants, it seems. Except, I mean, he did have that one death where he overdove, but if he tames the beast, he can get away with a lot. And he's perhaps approaching his next kill here in mid. Looking over it, at least. Samson is in trouble.
Sammy,
Samson's dead.
that he is. It's Antic not going to make the jump in naturally. He's just by himself, basically. Does pick up the Sanj and Kai, or rather the Kyan Sanj.
Oh yeah, let's not mistake those two items for each other.
Speed. Rolling Thunder. Oh, they're just setting up for the news. Very nice. Speed. Should be dead. No chance of survival, surely. As, yeah, he'll go down. Chakram was flying in anyway. MSS will take the kill. Lil Nick in the meantime, also caught out. Hookshot is there from Sammy, but there's no follow-up.
He probably just killed himself, actually. Oh, yeah, War's coming from the north. I didn't see it. All right, that's
Nice
pretty damn good, actually.
Nice tombstone is there. Sammy still going to drop, I think, to the zombies. Giant going after you are, but should go down himself.
Good sidestep from DNM. He might actually live here if they get a slight chain.
He may. Chains is there.
They don't.
DNM. No, he does go down. Red now also in danger. Doesn't have any remnants, so it's Xantic just going to shred him on the timber. And Yawar just beating down everyone else. A full team wipe, basically, for the side of Wildcard.
Yeah, that rotation from Yawar, he steals Tombstone, obviously just turns into the Undying, drops his own tomb, and this fight turns into pure chaos.
middle tower is under attack.
And they do manage to run them down in the end with the Timber, so nice attempt for DNM to stay alive, but wasn't quite enough. And yeah, this is looking like it could snowball out of control, actually. You need to be very careful if you're 5 right now with your lineup. The kind of fights that you get yourself into, you need to find a way of solving Timber. He is absolutely running over your team at every turn.
I mean, they're going to try on Xantic.
This is not the way to do it.
They don't even set up with the Pit of Malice.
No.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
Yeah, moves, run. Get it up. No, never mind.
That's, all right. Adzantic ganked them, I guess.
Hook.
Uh-oh.
DNM. That's a big one. Sammy's setting up.
Nice sidestep there from Lil Nick. Dodges the gust with Tumbler's Toy.
Very nice indeed. And DNM, no chance. Oh, Rocket Flare? I guess to check the high ground. Xantic.
And now Giant's going to die too. He's trying to de-ward, but like Timbersaw is literally just almost one-shot comboing this hero. He's one-shot comboing the Tusk. Yeah, 5 Red have no grip on the map anymore. They're going to see speed here. Oh, wait. Did they not see?
No.
Pango doesn't get vision where he travels? He flew through him, but they never saw him.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually gets the vision.
I thought he had like residual vision while he's flying through in that line, like that vision would follow with him, but apparently it's only at the original point and at the arrival point, it seems. Oh, little Nick.
Jump in.
He has mech. Little mech.
Oh, he gets it off in time, but he's still rooted.
Little dead. It was close, to be fair.
Oh, you know, almost.
Instant smoke up. They want more. Speed is going to run into Yawar, however. This is not a killable hero for them, so wasted smoke entirely.
Unfortunate.
And Yawar will be back to farming in his own triangle. So he has the Manta style. Obviously an amazing item this game. You can break out of Gust. You can break out of Pit of Malice to an extent.
Sammy. He's going to be okay. Just cogs and walks out of there. So 25 to 11. 4K advantage now for Wildcard. And obviously, as we've seen, 5 Red are still more than struggling in this game too. Nowhere near out of the game yet, but they need to find a way to control Xantic as... Oh, that's a nice remnant.
MSS a little bit late on the storm.
Giant gets called out here by Sammy. Xantic will take care of that, no problem. Sammy also getting caught, but they really want the Timber.
That's a huge kill if they get it.
And it seems like they just may. He's still healing through it. Chains away. Oh, he's made it out. Oh, I can't believe it. One more hit would have done it. Oh, it hurts to watch that. It really does.
That was clutch.
It was.
Doesn't get much closer than that. One more Drow attack. Maybe if Drow has a little bit better RNG on marksmanship as well, this could have been a kill. But yeah, Xantic gets out of there by the skin of his teeth. Do you want to take a guess at how many kills he has, by the way, if you haven't seen it? What do you think?
Sadly, I'm on him right now.
Oh, you're on him? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kills. He's almost got a kill per minute. We've got 14 kills in 19 minutes. He's approaching 15 kills in 19 minutes. Hello, Moose.
Bye-bye, Moose.
Oh, mistimed there. Okay, but the glimpse. All right, Yawar's getting the kill.
Bottom tower is under attack.
You are having a very good time himself. 5-1 and 6 on the Morphling. I have Skadi timing is up next, and obviously once you have that up, the Drow's going to have a few difficulties getting away. It's so hard as well, like, Giant is the Undying. Like, you can't help but give the Tombstone away every time. And it just changes the game completely here for Wildcard as Lil Nick.
They're hitting all the roots back to back. He is not using his mech.
No, he's not.
If he used his mech right away when he got the full heal value, he might have lived, potentially. It was pretty close.
Save the mana for next game, I guess.
Well, fair. Mistook.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, they've got to be very careful, right? Because one bad team fight, and it turns right back.
Another catch.
Sammy. Cogs will help
Should
him
be
out.
okay. Now there might be a glimpse counterplay here to get a nice vision.
Static Storm will be there as well. Xantic should have the damage output. Soul Rip will buy him a little bit of time, but nowhere near enough. This Giant chased down as well here by Yawar. Will get taken out by the Morphling.
They could Roche right now, I think. Timbersaw can just tank this and Morph can get to work. He has more than enough damage with the Manta style as well. 200 base damage. And they're pinging it out. So immediately identifying it. They also have the level 1 lucky shot. Not the best, but it's still... It all adds up. Gets a little bit of that minus armor. Gets the disarm. And yeah, this will be an Aegis. I think you put it on Yawar, right? At Xantic's BKB, I feel like he's invincible during BKB. They genuinely can't kill him with 5 heroes. It doesn't matter. Only Drow is doing any damage.
You are
We'll
correct.
give it to him. And... Well, Moose... Bit ambitious to just push out your wave like this as Tusk...
Is caught. Sammy just making sure they hold him down with the cogs. Snowball is there. Not going to mean too much. The Moose still trying to run, but has nothing like a blink up to try and get away. So no chances mid lane. Xantic still messing around here with red as the run of Atos not going to land in time.
They can't do anything about it.
Oh, it's so tough. Like, Xantic is just ruining them in game 2.
I feel like Xantic could engage a 1v5, find a kill, and survive at this point. Like, as long if he were to jump on the Tusk or on the Underlord, he might just pull off a kill and get out.
I think
They
you're
do
right.
not have the tools at all to deal with this hero in this game.
I think you are very on point with that analysis. So there's a 3-man smoke here from Wildcard. Like, they've still got plenty of time on the Sages here on UR, so they'd obviously like to get as much value as they possibly can. 5-Rat, they just don't have the answers.
Radiant's bottom
A
tower
nice read here from DNM. He will potentially escape, but if they get any vision with a rocket,
They do. Oh, nice glimpse back.
yeah,
Hook shot in. Cogs push back into the loving arms of Atlantic. Another kill for the Tim.
tower is under attack.
Did you just lag in real life?
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is
Bottom.
Oh, MSS Static Storm.
They've caught the Ember once again.
And here comes your war.
Yep, he'll take care of it. Oh, that's a lot of damage, but not quite. Yuar's okay. Glimpse back again onto Giant. And again, I'll say it again, like this support duo has just done so much. Like MSS this game, completely different to game number 1. I mean, everyone's been completely different, let's be fair.
Yeah, I feel like there's a study on human psychology to be made about this series already from what happened between game 1 and 2. Because we've seen teams lose games, right, and then come back and win series. It's not like it's that crazy, but the way in which they lost in the last game helplessly, and now they've turned it into this, and they've like completely overcome all of the issues they had in the previous game in terms of drafting, in terms of playing together, moving together, their laning. They just solved all their problems in 10 minutes. I just can't explain it, man. It's fascinating. It's amazing to watch, man. I don't know. I'm blown away. I thought they were just going to get run over again, but they've really cracked the code here, and they're making this a competitive series. This game is looking primed for a victory if they can keep this up.
No, don't say that too early, Syndron. Sammy.
Samson will try his best to calm me down. There we are. Settle down, everyone. It's still an 8K lead minute 24 with this lineup. They're in a very, very good position. Atlantic going to try to do a little bit of damage to speed here.
Here comes Yuar. He's a big problem.
That's a lot bit of damage.
And that's a great static storm. Snowball.
Oh, no.
It is going to
That
save.
is not a
but
save.
No, it's not.
That is a suicide from Moose. They're all going to die. Oh, boy.
Bye-bye. 5-Rat, they'll lose 4. They might even lose 5. Red's being chased down as we speak.
BKB. He can get out if he wants.
Man, one whirling death, he lost half his HP.
middle tower
Oh.
is under attack.
He was next to a lot of trees.
Red,
Okay.
Red, run.
He is buying all the time he can, but into the waiting arms of Yawar.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my God. He
Oh.
didn't BKB either. Okay. He died.
That's why you don't buy a BKB, Syndron. Too many buttons to press.
Yeah, Ember does have a lot of buttons. So you would think if you're playing this hero, then what's one more button when you have that many? BKB on a hero that has no spells
Yes.
is a lot of more additional buttons.
That's fair.
The relative difference here is what we're looking at. Like, it's a big relative difference.
It's a cup half full versus cup half empty, right? Because it's like, is it too many buttons already, right? Like the guy with no skills, he wants a button. You see?
Imagine there was a hero with 4 passives.
Can we have that?
Yeah, I'm sure you love your ability draft, don't you?
You are.
Are scattered.
4-man smoke up. 5-Rat, they're going to try and salvage this game. Atlantic, that's the big one.
He has BKB. They can't go on this guy.
I mean, he's
Can
literally asked for a high 5 as we speak.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately for them, there's a tree in the way, so he doesn't connect on them. But, all right, Red will find MSS. That's pretty big.
That's a good start. Static Storm was expended. Yuar, gonna
Yawar's
make the
being
jump
Superman 1v5.
in. He certainly is. Snowball is there to buy a bit of time. Yuar, have you gone a bit too far here, sir?
Aegis for another 5. They're trying to delay his death here. You can see them kiting it out.
He's got waveform though.
3.
Yuar. Manta, he's okay.
Nicely done. He's going to get the full heal there and reset. Little Nick.
Just gonna roll his way out of this one.
All right, there's an Underlord gate. They're going to try... Oh, the bus has arrived straight into a bit of debris.
Sammy, hookshot not gonna be there. It's not gonna. Oh, you are.
Oh.
Well, how did that happen?
All right. Well, he was 1v5 again.
Okay.
This time without the Aegis. Or a team. Well, 1v5 implies that, but... Little Nick wasn't covering him at all with the ulti. He didn't have it. And Yawar got caught off guard. He got silenced and brought down. They have Vessel. They have hypothermia on the arrows. It's a pretty quick kill if he's out of position and messes up. So that was really big for 5-Rat. That's actually a major comeback.
Luckily,
They will lose Moose.
luckily, Atlantic's the real
Nope,
carry this
they
game.
won't. He missed the chain. Moose will live.
And Xantic
He's
is...
thinking about chasing him, actually.
He's
He has
got
the dagger.
Oh,
There you go.
beautiful.
At the ward. He knew where he went. Now, Xantic is in an awkward spot, though. BKB is ready. He will be
Is
fine.
he awkward though, Syndra? Is he in an
He'll be
awkward
okay.
spot?
If he didn't have BKB ready, this would have been a death. But he's okay. He'll reset.
How many kills has he got now?
20.
21 and 10. My goodness, what a performance here from Xantic.
It's a nice stand-in. Hey guys, we need a player. Yeah. All right, I'll show up with 30 KDA if you need me. I'll leave my number at the door.
Amazing what you found laying around.
Oh, Fire Rat, they're not out of it yet. 10k advantage, almost 30 minutes in, but they are still going. They're showing signs
It's
of life.
possible. This is definitely possible. Especially the Timbersaw BKB has now dropped down to 7. Each of these seconds matters a lot because you just need to weather the storm and then find one setup on him and you can still kill him. Drow is always a hero that can win late game. And as we've talked about, this is not a good hero-to-hero matchup for the Morphling. The saving grace for wildcard this game is that the Timbersaw is absolutely annihilating them. But strictly from a draft perspective, if they didn't play this well with the early rotation from the supports and getting Timber online, if this game was even right now, I would like Dire's chances more than the Radiant's, but the advantage is still covering for some of the issues that they could have right now.
What condition do you think Fire Rat need to actually make the comeback happen here? Like, is there a specific item timing you're looking at?
I think it's not so much about getting a specific item, it's about getting the right type of fight. I guess Ember's Ags is actually a pretty big deal, so maybe you wait for that one, but it's more about catching Yawar off guard and killing him off instantly, or kiting the Timber BKB and then catching him in root into root into root with Vessel. They have plenty of roots, right? They have Atos, Pit of Malice, Slight Chains, and they even have Gust too. So Xantic is very killable. He chose to go for the Aghanim Scepter, which is pretty boss, but might not be the best choice here, to be honest. Just strictly from the perspective of ensuring this is a win for them. I don't know if this was the best item. Oh, Speed is taking so much damage. He's gonna get glimpsed.
Yeah, it's so rough. So rough.
Easy peasy. I wonder how much damage Timber has done this game.
We'll find out afterwards. I think it's a ridiculous amount to say the least. And they just still have not found a way of dealing with him.
No.
Like you pointed out, they have the tools, which they certainly do. But there's just so many conditions before this man will die. And even then, like once he respawns, it's not like he's that much of a weaker hero. He's still going to be a real problem.
And he's got 4k health, okay? Like, he's got the health talent, he's got the 16 strength talent from level 22. You get a lot of stats from the Ags, you get a lot of stats from the Kaya Sanj, you get strength from BKB. And this will be another Roche, this one with the Shard. Curious who they give this to. Could give it to Xantic. Little Nick already has his, so you can get the Flamethrower. Looks to be the plan.
There's your double damage rune as well for Yawar. Just in case.
Actually, I
you need
don't
one.
think the Disruptor Shard would be half bad this game to just put on the Morph when he waveforms in. It's actually pretty meaningful amounts of move speed and attack speed you give him, but... yeah. Wait, am I tripping? Can you not cast it on allies anymore?
I think they changed that.
You can't do that. So you have to...
I'm not 100%.
Oh, right. It has way bigger radius, but you can only cast on enemies. That's true. Oh, that was an Ember there.
That's a big kill.
Yeah.
Red 2's gone.
Yeah, that's safe to say. He vanished. He died in half a second. MSS is close to Axe on the Disruptor, so that will be another huge item coming the way of Wildcard. He's actually very rich this game. Not too surprising when you're 4-3 and 23, and you have Philosopher's Stone. So 2 minutes away roughly from MSS getting that major upgrade that will solve a lot of problems. If they catch the Drow, she can't Pike, she can't BKB. Similarly for the Ember, can't save himself. They have the Force Staff that they can try to save with on Giant, but that's basically all there is to protect against that Ag Storm.
Bottom tier 2 tower now under siege here by Yawar. Not going to take him too long whatsoever. It's just a matter of whether Wildcard want to commit to high ground. And with everything up, I feel like you just can. It's not really much in the way of stopping you. But I guess maybe you just let MSS finish the Ags first, to be fair.
Where's double damage will auto use from Bottle here? I bet he is tingling to go and hit the tower, but Yeah, it's probably better to wait. Eyeing up a Swift Blink.
Okay.
Buys the Eagle Song first. He bought the dagger and sold it. I kind of like this. I think his plan is just to blink in and obliterate Drow.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's going to do. And the thing about 5 red 4 steps lineup is, oh, hang on.
Oh, misses on red. Hits the creep wave instead.
He got it in eye. Very good.
Oh, red's really gonna hate that.
Yeah.
5 red.
It's kind of like you do something wrong and you know where you kick the wall or something. Oh, damn it. And it's just, he kicked a creep. Like, I missed the hook. Well, this creep has to suffer for it. Oh,
Oh boy,
he
Sammy.
dead. He not dead.
He's not dead yet.
He dead.
He should
He
be
not dead.
eventually. There we go.
Oh,
You are.
DNM. Oh,
Roots
they've
are
caught
up.
your war. He has Aegis.
He does, but this could be the first life as he does pop BKB.
Yeah. Waveform, TPI. Oh, the punch.
Oh, that's a nice punch here
this
from
is
Moose.
pretty bad news for your war.
Yeah, he's got no BKB after this Aegis timing, and that's gone.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Is Timber able to help here?
Zantic, what are you going to do, sir?
He's just going to sell him.
Oh, he jumps in. He's going to try.
He can't help him.
He really can't. Yuar is gone.
Zantic needs to not be collateral. He has no mana.
Oh, no.
He gets BKB off. He could. Yeah, okay, he'll be fine.
He
Unless Moose.
Moose. Oh,
Oh, he didn't have the spell ready. He actually had the dagger, but punch was on cooldown, so couldn't go for it.
unlucky.
Well, that's the second time Yawar in an Aegis fight just gets very minimal value, arguably negative value out of it. As they flat out just lost that fight handily, and it's big. Like, these fights should be going their way. They're mounting so many major advantages.
Red 2 just goes down. MSS picks up that kill. Not much you can
the-
do once you get caught.
Ag Static Storm.
They'll know about it now, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, 5 Rat showing signs of life in that final, that recent team fight, but kind of feeding back the life of the Ember, which is a little bit unfortunate for them. Zantic.
Yeah, does he see him? He doesn't see him.
Oh,
This is interesting.
Moose
Drow.
jumps in. Gust is
Yo,
there.
she has a lot of damage here.
There's nothing to purge up that silence either. But Zantic still chaining away. Can they keep the vision up? The multi-shot. It's going to
another
connect
vessel.
with Zantic.
They don't have Vessel.
Oh,
He's
no.
okay, I think.
Rocket Flare is there. Not going to give the vision.
Oh, that's him actually.
Oh, Moose has got him.
Oh my god, this is such a big kill. Another one.
Still, they will connect with the Rolling Thunder, so they'll at least get a little bit for their trouble, but that's a huge kill onto the Timber.
Tusk just bought the shopkeeper with the gold from that.
Oh, quite literally.
Yep.
Do you just pick up like an Axe or something? I mean, is Axe even
He's
worth
going BKB. I think the BKB is okay if he wants to just reliably be able to go in and kick and then survive and get out, but part of me feels like there has to be a better item here in terms of like enabling his teammates. Like,
Is under attack.
but I don't know exactly what it is. Like, a lot of Tusks in this position, like you said, either you buy Ags or you buy Auras, right? Or some sort of Glimmer Cape, Force Staff, whatever it is. Solar Crest some players would buy back in the good old day when that item existed. It's being bought a little bit recently sometimes. Lotus Orb is the obvious one as well, which isn't the best in this game, so I can understand not buying Lotus. Maybe it's okay to go BKB.
You never know, Syndra. I mean, new patch is coming out soon. We might, see the Solar Crest make a return.
It's been picked up a couple of times. I think I saw it was Liquid Insania bought it in a game on Undying. I think I saw it a second game as well. So that's already 2 games out of 150. So that's pretty good.
I feel like
It's back basically.
I feel like that item's like 1 buff away.
Yeah, it's kind of in this limbo state now where it won't take much, I would agree.
Not that anyone's gonna buy it anyway, the pubs, but nevertheless.
This game is hanging in the balance, I'll be honest with you. I don't think 5 Rat 4-star are in that bad of a position anymore. Timbersaw is obviously still mega strong, but BKB down to 6. We see they have the damage for him once it runs out. Ember is starting to scale in a meaningful way. Drow has a silver edge very soon. It's possible. Hookshot.
Is there,
Finds
Sammy?
the Drow, but no backup.
No
Just
backup.
gonna get out.
The NM's okay.
Lost
Giant.
all of Sam's mana. Well, they got Giant though. He was also out in the middle of nowhere.
Wildcard just going to be so careful not to throw another team fight here against 5 Rat. I think they're just going to wait out the next Roshan. In the meantime, Moo's just going to split push the bot lane.
create that kind of urgency to back off. And it's kind of the strong suit now for Fire Rat, right? Because you've got these heroes that can just split push lanes and force wildcard back constantly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
But you do need to fight.
MSS. Oh! I was very close to getting a glimpse there. Actually started an attack animation because he attack moved the ground on the way, but wasn't quick enough to get off the glimpse there. Against Tusk, or that would have been a kill on Moose.
There's your blink up, by the way, and you are. Swift blink incoming. There you go.
The thing that's still dangerous for him is he has to pop BKB to go in, right? Because Drow can just pike him away, and then the Swift Blink did nothing. So he is also on a timer. We talked about the BKB on the Timber. One on Yawara is currently 8 seconds. They are losing gold per minute, by the way, relatively speaking, right? Like, 5 Rat were down 10k a moment ago, and now it just swung down to 8.
Oh, it's Antic right in on the
Hex
Giant.
reveal.
Hex reveal is there. They've already got rid of the Undying. DNM now in a very rocky situation,
okay.
but is going to be all right to back off.
That's still a good fight for the Radiant here.
It is. Moose is going to go down on the Tusk. Speed's caught out as well on the Underlord. He will drop. Roshan, it's not going to be an instant spawn. It's 50 seconds away, basically.
middle tower is
It's a
under
great
attack.
heads-up play from Adzantic to get immediate value out of that Hex. They were not anticipating that whatsoever. And they get themselves a good fight. 1-for-1 buyback traded, Disruptor and Undying. Obviously, Disruptor's buyback being more expensive, but you're still putting yourself in a really good position now as wildcard to try to poke high ground. Underlord being dead is a big deal for the defense of the Dire lineup. You can start trying to handle it a little bit with multi-shot, with Sleight of Fist, but Morphling could do some meaningful damage to get in position. And Yawara's in.
Yawara is in. Tier 3 tower going to be under siege.
Dire's structures are fortified.
5 Rat. They don't want to fight without their full 5 heroes if they can avoid it. They might have to just give up this tier 3 tower at the least. Jump in, Sammy. He's right in. No hesitation. And DNM's gone. No buyback.
Yeah, that's extra bad for 5 Rat. That's at least one lane. They don't know for a fact that he doesn't have buyback on the Drow, but they might be able to deduce it based on the fact that there's no silver, that he just picked up a Silver Edge. Wow, that was, I said 17 different things in 5 seconds there. That's impressive. But they back off. They're not sure about the buyback status.
Red?
They will find Red, though.
Oh, boy. Okie dokie. Well, that's a problem. Because
Yep.
now they probably will go back for the high ground.
Yep. They're going to go straight up there. Red has to buy back or they lose 2 lanes. Yawar is feeling strong. Glimpse. That's a dead giant.
Can't even
And
get the
that's a
tombstone off.
Hex. That's a dead... I mean, this is just a hold. They have nothing left, do they?
The whole building just collapsed on him. It's pretty rough here for the side of 5 Ratters. Oh, 2 Raxes are guaranteed. It might even just be a GG at this point, honestly. We'll see what 5 Rat want to do. They're not the kind of team to give up too early. They do like to play these games out as much as possible.
Well, I'll tell you this. If they go and hit the tier 4s, they force 2 buybacks. Or they do this, and this should also force 2 buybacks. There's the one. Coming out from Red. Oh, they missed time. Oh! They actually... He did not BKB at the initiation there from Moose. He didn't BKB the Snowball. Disrespected it and got burst down.
I don't think he was expecting the damage.
This is why Morph is not good against Drow.
Yeah.
Case in point right there. All right, he's going to buy back. Okay.
This is scary now for Wild Card. Adzantic gets caught. Static
Good
Storm.
static.
MSS will save the day. He's having none of it. Adzantic, he'll chase down Speed. Yawar back into the team fight. Goes after Red 2. Remnant away. But the glimpse is there potentially
got
from
bashed.
MSS, and he gets
Didn't glimpse him
bashed
again.
as well.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's gone. That's got to be it.
That's game.
There's no way they keep going. They've only got 2 supports up now. At 5 Rat, they might be having a few discussions here as the GG is finally called. And Wildcard, they are going to force this to a game number 3.
I told you before today started, I was like, I'm going to predict wildcard today. I feel like, they're going to be motivated. And in game number 1, they were just pretending.
Yeah.
Like they were pretending. They were warming up, they were playing with one hand, and now in this game they're back.
Yeah, they certainly are. Obviously, a false sense of hope being provided for 5 Rat for game 1, like you mentioned, Syndrin. A fantastic performance here from Wildcard. Is there anything in particular? What are you smiling at?
No, it's just it's just funny to see. I'm really happy for them that they managed to bounce back like this. I did not expect it based on the game 1 performance. It's just magical how they just swung everything around for game 2, and now I have no idea what to think about game 3. Now anything can happen.
Certainly can. And you know what else is magical, Synderen? Our
Fear.
panel.
In particular.
Let's throw back to Fear, see what he has to say.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'm not Fear, but Fear, what do you have to say, apparently?
I'm magical.
Yeah, I heard. Well, if he rub you to
He's a magical boy.
magical powers, I
You'll
don't know.
never find out.
Oh, okay. Well-guarded secret. Well, I mean, Wildcard was certainly guarding some sort of secret from us here. As they came out, mate, they actually played some Dota, more or less. I mean, Exantic, what a guy. The UK Dota mid laner coming through, and after a terrible game 1, smacks back and pulls off the kill record for the NA DPC for this round. 28 kills on this Timbersaw.
Yep.
Holy moly.
Take that, America.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This is for kicking us out.
All right, moving on from that. So basically, this Timbersaw was absolutely incredible. In the mid lane as well, this matchup, I wasn't sure how it would go. I've seen it go pretty badly. I've never seen Ember do well in this matchup, but sometimes I see Embers survive. This was not a game where we survived versus the Timbersaw, and a lot of that had to do with wildcard. They brought a lot of heroes to the mid lane early on. Once he got level 6 on Timber, helped him propel in this game. He was everywhere at the Timber Chains, getting kills with the Chakram. This was a crazy performance, and I feel like if you're going number 3, you don't let this man have Timber under any circumstance. I'll play against anything but this.
I mean,
Really?
that is
First ban?
that is literally
I'm down, yeah.
that is literally a series-based ban, and very well worth it as well for game number 3. Just get rid of the Timbersaw. You don't want to let Exantic have it once again.
I mean, what do you mean first ban? He had 28 kills in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose so. It was just not a matchup thing then, just a pure outplay thing. But yeah, this was ridiculous. This is one of the best performances we've seen for a mid laner in a while. This was ridiculous. And of course, this is a region with Abed and Bryle as well, and he was kind of different foes for sure. 5 out 4 stuff. They are at the bottom alongside a Wildcard, but nonetheless, don't want to take too much away from him. It was a great performance. But who else on Wildcard performed well?
Who else on Wildcard? Yor played a good game, actually. He had a couple of feeds there and here and there, but overall, his laning stage was very impressive. He got the farm where he needed to. He showed up to the fights where he would be expected to be in. This reminded me of old Quincy crew. Quinn's kind of run around dominating. UR would get his farmed and he'd link up. It feels like UR only struggles a little bit in situations where it's mid struggling and he has to make the rotation first. So get in a situation where Exantic does have an opportunity to move around the map, be high net worth. I think that's where UR will really feel like he's in his comfort zone.
And all they needed with these 2 damage-dealing heroes is someone to add a bit of extra control, and that's MSS. Like this Disruptor, getting himself a game where he could just tag along with his 2 cores, move around the map. Same thing that Giant was doing with his cores, trying to save them. MS is trying to help his cores kill them. So the big difference maker there.
Yeah, and even Sammy Boy pulling out some pretty epic hook shots at the end to finish the game, managing to catch out the Drow, and honestly, kind of put an end to this game as well. It needed to be done, and everybody on Wildcard suddenly playing in sync. I did not expect this. I don't think anybody expected this. Synderen was laughing because it was just crazy to see a team go from this game 1 to this game 2, but there you go. Wildcard, they do have the experience. When it clicks, it's going to click. Can it keep on clicking? I don't know. But Exantic is going to be our MVP for game number 2. No one's going to be surprised or arguing about that. 28-2.
Are you
Absolutely
happy?
Ridiculous. Of course I am. Of course I am. Yeah. Exantic, he's a great guy. And this was a hell of a performance from him. Look at that. 28-2. New kill record for the region.
Can you repeat this, though? Because this is for me, a standout performance that cannot be replicated. Or at least you cannot rely on this type of performance to happen again. And if I'm on 5-rat going to the next series here, I'm definitely saying just ban this out. We didn't know this guy plays Timber mid. It happens, and then play against some normal mid heroes. But if he gets this hero again, it feels like I saw he was a specialist. He plays it a lot in pubs. The fact that he got it in a game like this, performed, and not the easiest Timber game of all time. It was a good Timber game, but not like a completely free one. It's scary.
There's also a couple other records that were broken this game. Not only just the kill record. Sammy Boy with the highest assists with 36. And
let's go.
I also saw something else in here, which was Wildcard coming up with the most kills in a game this tour as well. It was above Rebellion. So you just did better than one of the top 2 teams in NA.
Wildcard are better than Rebellion. You heard it here first, folks. Wow. Yeah, they're bottom of the table.
Not
But,
misquoted whatsoever.
not at all. Not at all. It's what the stats say. You can't argue with them. Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for game number 2. Wildcard truly living up to their name in this series in the craziest way possible. We're going to throw it over to a break, and then we're going to be back with game number 3 to find out who's going to take the series, Wildcard or 5-Rap 4 Staff.
Watch more. Earn more. Full TV.
stomps, one going one way, one going the other. Is it time for a close game, or who knows what's going to happen, to be honest? It is game number 3 of Wildcard Gaming versus 5-Rap 4-Star, battling it up in a best of 3. The winner of which receives nothing about the, well...
Wow.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
That's a bit blunt.
Wildcard received the chance to play again for $1,000.
Yes.
5-Rat just get to keep what they already have. So that's the stakes we're looking at here, but it's all about pride for Wildcard. They have not pulled off a series win here in the NA DPC. For a team of this caliber, that is absolutely unacceptable. It's time to get it done in game number 3. We've seen from game number 2 they can do it, but now we're expecting things to go a little bit differently. You know, is it all just a big question mark above Exantic's head on how it's supposed to go?
A little bit. Like, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the man, but the way Wildcard has been drafting, the way they've been playing, if they haven't had that hero running around the map, making things happen, it really enabled every single player. Like, MSS gets to play now, UR gets to play, Lil Nick, he can have a rough game, now he can recover. It all came down to the fact the mid laner was able to open up the map for the entire team.
And you can't really rely on mid going that well twice in a row, can you?
It doesn't have to go that well, but it has to not go as badly as game 1.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So let's start the draft for game number 3. It is Wildcard versus 5-Rap Full Staff, of course. And previously, we've seen the same bans twice in a row, but game number 3, 5-Rap Full Staff, they're going to swap it up. They do not want this disruptor going into the hands of
NP
Wildcard.
then? And Beast, those were the bans before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one
that
will
disruptor
make it
did get under their skin a little bit. It definitely made Red 2's game very hard. He will most likely, you can now imagine in the comms, Red not happy with this disruptor, constantly catching him off guard during the game and allowing Exantic to kind of clear it out on those kills. It wasn't even a stun that was actually killing him. It was literally the glimpse and the silences that were making his life hard. Timber with the hard damage because he's already scaled up with his extra items that he's built up early on. So makes a lot of sense. First phase disruptor is something we see a lot here in NA.
It is, yeah, and it's something which clearly Wildcard are kind of falling back upon as a safety blanket. I do just wonder though, there's always that mid laner versus mid laner thing where, like, I'm sure you've noticed it, where your mid's like, no, it's not the other mid who's doing well. It's not him, he's not doing well. It's this guy. It's something else, Always pride getting. I do wonder if that's something being said by Red 2 here.
And also about Exantic, like game 1, he was a bit lost, especially in that laning stage, not really dodging the raises, just taking extra damage, falling a couple times in the lane, not really getting a kind of comeback mechanism in a way on the Ember Spirit. You feel like you just fell behind. Game 2, absolutely fantastic. You've seen the worst and the best out of the stand-in now in this series. So game 3, you're playing on Team Wildcard. What more can you expect?
We saw Ember getting dumpstered 2 games in a row too, so
Yep,
could be
that
maybe chill out on the Ember pick.
I think so. Yeah, it hasn't really worked for either team just yet. And we are going to see the Pangolier banned out from the side of Wildcard, so a lot of interesting options in the pool here for 5-Rap 4-Staff. Depends what they want to go for, and they will choose that Nature's Prophet as their first pick. Not super surprising. Wildcard going to answer instantly with the Death Prophet and with the Primal Beast.
I like the Primal. The Death Prophet, I don't hate, but I always have loved the Primal as a core position, especially versus NP, regardless if you're laning against it or not. Ideally, you are laning against it, though, because you do shut down the fact of NP being able to go carry, and then you have like so many options as a carry to shut down NP offlane. Whereas I feel like you have very few options in offlaner to counter the carry NP. So getting that right out of the way is pretty nice, and DP is a hero that generally just doesn't do well versus NP throughout the whole game.
And that Furion is something that DNM likes to play, despite the team not picking this hero at all until their very final game of the actual season, where they could potentially just break down Wildcard and not let them play that tiebreaker at all. Bringing that Furion, I mean, Speed could play it potentially. Of course, we always talk about the 1-3 flex, but I see more of this as a DNM hero.
Especially with the
his lane
Clockwork,
matchup.
right?
Yeah, with Clockwork, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Clock NP against DP Primal, I'd rather be the NP Clockwork in that one. But you'd have options to flex things up.
You can.
Exantic Primal, is that a thing? DP?
I feel like if you play Timbersaw, you probably play Primal, right? Like,
I suppose you could, yeah.
go in and stomp, go in and spin, the same
The more question is, do you play Timber? Do you play DP?
At least if you think about like the pickoffs and the lane and stuff, you can just trample your way out of the Sprout. So that goes in your way for sure. It's easier to find the Nature's Prophet. You see him TP somewhere to try and push out the lane, or if he's participating in a fight, Primal Beast's most likely job is just get in there, you know, find the Nature's Prophet, break down the trees, locate wherever he is, get the Pulverize on, or maybe Clockwork. Either way, one of these two heroes is definitely going to be focusing on the Primal Beast, so you'd probably like to just drop this hero as a support instead of playing as a core.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Clockwork be a really good answer to the Primal Beast in the start. Those cogs are just a big problem for him. Anything which can restrict his movement is pretty big. Also,
And the Battery Assault, which is huge.
Yeah, the Battery Assault and also the long-range initiation of the hook shot can cancel out a well-timed Pulverize, even if you're BK beat. So there's a lot of options. There's a lot of options. I do like this Clockwork pick a lot. Yeah, I agree. Really
We're
strong
forgetting
answer.
more options too, actually. I forgot Wildcard is the one team that ran Death Prophet 5. So
That is true.
There's
That's
a
Sammy
reason we
boy.
forgot that.
It was funny.
But they're back.
It was funny listening to the cast, and now they talk about the support DP is when Mike sometimes just goes like, Sammy,
Sammy,
where is he
like-
going now?
keeping your child
What are
in
you
check.
up to?
Don't think about it. Don't do it.
Precocious little scamp, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, both these heroes technically are open. I like to look at DP as an offlane mid only, and I hope it stays that way. Primal, it can be mid in this game, potentially offlane, and then support. So
Yep. And another flex pick that goes with the Primal Beast, either as a lane
they
duo.
banned Silencer this time, but
Damn.
Clockwork is another one of those heroes though that people. It's not as good as the Silencer, not as reliable, or as the Nyx to cancel the Mortimers, but he does have a long-range stun. You do show where you're shooting and kisses from.
Yeah.
If you get the hook on there, it's an answer in a way. It's just a lot harder to execute here. And we talked about how I'm not a huge fan of the Snapfire. Doesn't change much for me. I'm still not a huge fan of this hero right now. So
Not had a lot of success at least.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible pick or anything. It's just I liked what they had going last game more than so far this game with their support combination. And I believe they're just replacing the Snapfire with the Disruptor that I cannot have this game.
Positive going their side is the flex that they have coming into a double pick from 5 rat, and then they can lock things in with the 18th.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I don't know. I do feel like I just wanted to see a Tusk. I really just wanted to see a Tusk. I really wanted to see just that go-in hero, which they can play around easily. You're not always going to have such success at the mid lane, therefore you're going to look for other heroes to set things up for you. Snapfire is not that hero. We've seen it time and time again. Tried to be that hero.
Yep.
It's not.
I know MSS does like the Primal, so that might be their Tusk in a way.
Yeah.
It's less reliable in a lot of... I mean, it's pretty reliable early on, but later the game goes, the harder it is to get your Pulverize off, especially if you're playing versus a Clock. You don't get a BKB super early if you're playing support. It could be risky, and we're going back.
Wildcard win. Great.
Okay, so are we just picking Timber again? Is that a possibility?
Surely it's got to be, right? Like,
I mean,
there's nothing here which makes me go, nope, Timber's bad.
I wonder what they decided to
But-
be like, Timber was not a problem last game.
Yeah.
I guess
that's a
the
cope.
idea is like that Drow just had such a really hard game. She wanted to go Silver Edge right for the break, and I think Furion, another hero potentially you could build Silver Edge on to just break the Timber Saw, and also a hero that gives a bit more momentum and tempo earlier on because Drow obviously feels like you need time, you need positioning, and you need a lineup that allows you to shoot, right? Well, Furion feels like it's a bit more mobile in a sense and more active earlier, and also potential Silver Edge builder. Plus, you can build Ags for the root too. So that's going to hurt Primal Beast. That's going to hurt DP with Exo on, especially in team fights. And if they go for the Timber Saw, he's also going to be stuck on the spot. So
It does add less damage versus Timber, though. That's the
that
only
is true.
concern.
It's also less damage, but it's also earlier timing. So
There it is.
Let's see if it works out.
There it is.
Wow,
So
I'm so surprised right now.
I can see by your face.
Yeah.
Such emotion. Yeah, no, Snapfire is like, you know, it could have been a mid hero. As I mentioned before, it is something which Atlantic used to play a lot, like a year ago or so. I don't know about now since it's been changed a bit, but it was definitely a fallback for them. But Timbersaw is much more up his alleyway, as we saw last game. Absolutely zero surprise to see it. So, 5rat, I hope you've got a good answer for this. I hope this was something you were trying to bait and that you've got a good plan on how to deal with
All
it.
right, let's
but-
put it this way, though. Red 2, he didn't have a good game, right?
Nope.
So maybe in his eyes, he just made a misstep here or there at a crucial
That's how I
phase of the
see it,
game.
yeah.
So he's like, this matchup isn't that bad. Give it to me again if they pick Timber. I mean, there's already DP that's terrible for Ember, but it's like there had to be that option of like they will do this again.
Yeah.
And they think this time it was a misplay, not a outpick. So we'll see what he can pull out in this matchup here. But we'll not necessarily know until actually they don't get last pick either, so they have to
Yeah.
decide who their offlaner is right now as well. Is it going to be the NP? Are they going to pick a new carry? It looks like Primal is relegated to pause forward now. We'll have a 5 snap. Offlane DP. UR gets overall last pick of the game. And it looks like they would kind of want the NP in the offlane with the Naga ban. Otherwise, I wouldn't be too afraid of it because you do have an Ember, but the lane is pretty bad.
Also,
So you do see the DP, so you
Yeah.
might get to pick something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Back
you
to
can
Drow.
still you can still move your puzzle pieces around a little bit. Like if you want that DP versus Ember matchup, Timbersaw sees the Furion come up against them. Might just be Lil Nick playing the Timbersaw, who is also a pretty good Timbersaw player. At least the performances I've seen from
Yeah,
him
he is.
in this DPC. So 5-Rat, when they lock in the Doom, do you go Timber versus Doom in the lane? Do you go DP versus...
Carry Timber now, or are we just swapping lanes?
I mean, I'm just thinking about the Nature's Prophet here. Like, is it 1 or 3? So since
Oh,
you
I see.
kind of going carry, you're most likely
Right.
Tim against the Furion.
Carry
But you
Doom.
could lane swap here against the Doom.
I don't want to get into that territory because that gets really confusing, and I don't think either of these teams are even thinking about that right now. I think we're going to play some old-fashioned Dota. Just go to your lanes, play them out. I don't think there's going to be too many mind games here.
Yeah. It is the TI finals, right? You know, most important game,
Yeah.
last game to play, game 5.
Yeah.
Any cheese for wildcard?
They've already picked it.
Cheesy enough.
Is it just
Timber
cheesy enough?
mid.
How can it be cheesy enough?
Timber's not cheesy. I'm gonna start. Get out of here, Finn. He kept calling you cheesy.
Timber mid
It's
is
not.
cheesy.
It's not cheesy.
Does your bar have any cheesy heroes?
Wraith King.
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
That was like.
I'm
was like
not
a-
impressed with the Wraith King
Yeah.
in this patch.
I don't think
mean,
it looks
there's-
good this game.
It does look good this game.
Does
but
it?
Ursa looks better.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing versus Doom, versus NP. It's
Oh, yeah,
fine. You
yeah,
have
I
a
guess,
Blink
I guess.
Stun. It's
So-
never a good Wraith King game, though. So
It's
we'll
as
just
good as
say
it
that.
gets. As
Yeah.
good as it gets. But the Ursa pick makes a lot more sense. And again, this feels pretty well put together for the side of Wildcard. I'm not
Does.
seeing an answer to the Timbersaw, but of course, you know, you've got the Doom at least. That's an answer to everything every kind of 2 minutes or so. I'm wondering if 5-Rep 4 staff have a good enough plan to answer it. What do you think, T-Panda?
Well, my prediction says wild card, so I'm just going to go with that.
Okay, good
Nothing
logic.
Just playing Timber again at Xantic. All right, this is a wild card.
All right, good. The faith is there. The belief is there from our panelists. And I agree. I think wildcard. I don't see this Timber being answered in this draft. I think Doom's not enough. And I think even if you do Doom Timbersaw, this Ursa has a good game in front of him as well. So looking tough. We'll see how this game 3 goes, though. This series has been wild at every single turn. We haven't been able to predict much. So let's see how it goes. Game number 3 brought to you by MLP and Cinderin.
Thank you so much, Nomad Cinderin. Very nice pose to get started here. You heard the panel. They have faith in the wildcard draft. In particular, they like the Timbersaw on the Xantic. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that's a bold statement to make after it goes 28-2 in the previous game and gets the same mid matchup this time, right? Yeah, it's definitely good. Like they point out, the Ursa is good too. But my big question mark for wildcard this game is how is their DP5 going to work? Because that is played by Samson. I thought they were going to move the heroes around differently, but it is going to be the DP5. They could have put the Primal Beast on 5, or they could have put the Snapfire on 5. But this is what they've decided to do. So. This hero used to be a really good 5, then it got some nerfs. I think right now it's kind of hit or miss for me.
Okay.
Mostly miss. So we'll see about that. And for 5-Rat, this time around, I think they have a lineup that can actually play really fast. Nature's Prophet carries one of the quickest in the game. You have the Clockwork on your team this time. You have the Mirana 4. The only really slow hero you have is the Doom. So let's see if Timber can do the same again for Wildcard, or if 5-Rat are gonna be able to match the pace this time.
Absolutely. Red will hand over the tip towards Xantic. Obviously, a bit of a respect after that last game, I'm sure. Xantic, I mean, how rude of him to come into this region and take the most kills record of Tour 2, by the way, as a stand-in in his first game.
He had business to attend to. He
certainly
came here
did.
for a reason.
He certainly did.
He took the ship. He sailed across to find glory.
And he conquered.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can do it again, though. I mean, doing it once, you know, it's one thing. Doing it twice in a row,
Yep.
certainly a different thing. Moose, bit of a chase here from Sammy. And
I know this is I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming this is one of Sam's favorite heroes. He played it a lot when it was meta. Wildcard were playing a lot of 5 DP then. And the fact that he's bringing it out here as well goes to show that he probably just really wanted to play this hero, right? They picked it very early and they transitioned it and downgraded it, you could say. in a game where Death Prophet core isn't necessarily bad, right, against these heroes. So prioritizing to put him on that is pretty telling about his joy in playing the Death Prophet. We'll see how this lane goes. I think he's going to have a rough time until he hits level 3. They're going to try to exploit him. So far, he's zoning 1v2, though, and giving a little bit of a start here to Yawar.
Yeah, it's still quite a lane-dominant hero, to say the least. But like you said, level 3 is usually the timing where you start to feel a lot more confident. His moves going to hand the harassment back his way.
And it's worth keeping in mind that Yawar has the good 1v1 matchup against the Doom as well, right? So if the Death Prophet can equalize with Mirana, I'm sure Yawar will be doing just fine against Speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not too much the Doom can do, I don't think, in this laning phase. Of course, mid lane, I mean, we already spoke about this last game, but Red 2 against Xantic here. Anything different to speak about between these two heroes?
Well, they got 3 bounties this time on 5 rat, so a little bit of a better start to all of their lanes than last time around. Could be, a little help. It's like getting an extra CS in every lane, and the enemy team gets 1 less. I still think... I don't know this matchup's ins and outs. I just feel like I'm trying to imagine how Ember can adapt to do much better than what happened last game, because I think Red 2 actually did okay. He just got ganked level 6, right? Like, it was a double support rotation, and very few heroes are going to survive that anyway. So, so far so good for him in this game as well.
We'll see if those support rotations do come out again from Wildcard. I mean, they don't necessarily have as good of heroes to make that kind of happen, but...
Primal, which could work, but yeah, they don't have the Disruptor, which was very fearsome last game.
Speaking of that Primal, MSS going to go for a bit of an onslaught out of a bit of a pickle there between DNM and Giant. Lil Nick there on the position 3 Snapfire as well. Pretty strong lane, you'd argue, right? Like Primal Beast and Snapfire into like a Nature's Prophet. Does feel like DNM does have to be somewhat cautious.
Yeah, especially when Primal hits level 3. That's when this lane really kicks off, when you get 2 points in Trample. This spell doubles its damage from level 1 to 2. It's a pretty weak level 1 spell. But on level 2, it is very powerful, and Snapfire will have a huge burst, and she has a TP cancel as well. So, I agree. I think Nature's Prophet needs to be a bit careful in this lane. I mean, it's obviously also the reason they picked the hero, right? They picked it as a counter to that Nature's Prophet coming in from the side of 5 rat.
Yeah. This Primal Beast, when it first came out, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this hero, man, it's kind of had the whole package. Certainly a very strong one here, as it seems like they are going to freely just farm this small camp Giant. Not too much he can do about it, but he'll block the large camp at least. And the Equilibrium is the way of DNM, so he's more than happy to just keep farming by himself. Bottom lane. Seems like Speed's doing okay considering the matchup. Like, he's 14-4, and I suppose with the Devour, you're always guaranteed some form of farm, but I was expecting maybe a little bit more harassment.
You're okay in the start, in particular because you're with a DP5, or rather against a DP5, who can't really put that much pressure. This lane gets harder when Ursa gets ideally boots, and they find their level 3s, but...
Top lane, Giant.
Blood.
Yeah, already down. MSS going to hand the tip over.
Literally stomping over him in his cogs.
Bottom. Bit of a chase here. Sammy, oh, he's going to avoid the arrow. Moose could not connect, but it won't matter.
He has 1 more leap, he's fine.
He'll be just fine to back off. Speed going to maybe take a bit of damage on the way out, but no. Moose will just zone him out, make sure he cannot do so. And that's a pretty big kill here for the side of 5 rat, I'd argue.
Yeah, they're cementing their laning presence in the bot lane, and again, Yawar is rushing Ring of Health, so he's not that big of a threat for the Doom. The Doom's just faster by 40 move speed, so he can always just outrun him. He has boots and Windlace, so he's gone the direct opposite route of the Ursa, of just prioritizing that over everything else, and now he's going to get phase boots too. So I actually think Yawar with this build is a potential risk in this lane of getting dove and killed. With phase boots coming out and Mirana with the level 4 for the double Starstorm level 2. This Ursa floating on half health is not safe.
Sammy.
I'm just going to try to cover, though.
He certainly is. Speed still kind of going at him. Sammy, though, is bringing him really low. Speed. Oh. Speed's down. Well, what was the idea there? He had no Fairy Fire, no...
He didn't count to 3, and Death Prophet was level 3, so he had 2 siphons. So technically, he only needed to count to 2. But he went 1...
That's a very good impression.
There you go.
All right, so speed goes down on the Doom.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be feeling too good about that. Meanwhile, top lane, DNM being dived here by MSS, but he will back off. Level 2 trample is up, and you kind of mentioned the damage output does kind of skyrocket by double at that level 2 mark. So DNM maybe a little bit more cautious now with himself. As speaking of cautious, Giant, he'll be okay. They don't have that trample back up.
They will get mana boots now on the Snapfire, though. That is the item for Primal Beast to lane together with. This hero has huge mana problems. Whenever you use your kit, you're basically dry. But Snapfire with the Arcanes can be a big help for MSS in order to keep the pressure up. Uses them there. It's full mana on Primal. And now that Battery Assault's on cooldown, they should actually go for a kill on Nature's Prophet here, I think. MSS is lining it up.
Especially if you can land the follow-up cookie here with MSS, you're more than happy. Red, in the meantime, mid lane, it's kind of being chased down here by Sammy.
They're
Okay,
going for him top now.
here we go. DNM,
missed it.
Onslaught will not connect, but they've got the trample. They've still got the cookie to set up, and they land perfectly on 2, but they won't have the damage. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
In fact, Giant, he's still going. Lil Nick trying to fight back now as the Battery Assault does wear off, but you missed out on the Nature's Prophet kill. You're probably going to be a little bit annoyed because DNM can just TP you right back to the laning stage.
Oh, hang on, Lil
Oh.
Nick. He has quelling. Oh, he actually opts to jump out instead of just quelling out. That's weird.
That was also a salve cancel.
Yep. That's the mana boots ready again, so MSS back to full. It's going to be dangerous for them to try to make an aggressive move now that Lil Nick is down to 250 health. He can just get killed off by Giant, catching him if he uses the cookie offensively. Mid lane, it's Xantic. This time, getting out leveled actually slightly by Red on the Ember. So a couple of denies. Actually, they both have 4 denies. They have basically the exact same farm in this lane, which is, you know, good for the Ember, I would argue.
Bottom. Sammy going to try and get aggressive once again. Moo's able to just sleep away, and Speed will just pop the Scorched Earth and run.
He's way too fast. The Ursa doesn't have phase boots yet. He's closing in though. So Yawar did go for the Ring of Health, and now he's finishing the phase before he goes Battle Fury. So he really wants to have more of that laning presence.
Meanwhile, Red top lane has rotated, and they want a very early tier 1 tower with this Heat Creep timing. Red will know Lil Nick's in the tree line, but they are just... In fact, never mind. Chains are there. He'll make the jump in, but Onslaught is out from MSS. But he doesn't really have the backup yet. They're incoming. Xantic will show up. Giant still kind of walking away, though.
He's dead.
He's certainly dead. He's gone.
Yeah. They rotated a lot of heroes over to defend this tower, and it's actually already in deny range. So we'll see if they choose to do that. If you don't do it, Nature's Prophet will get this eventually, just sending Treants. You can just spawn them on the side and then have them take the tower at some point. Now he's going to be laning, though. DNM is at risk here. If MSS goes for it, he's pinging him. Clockwork has arrived, but I don't think DNM has a chance here.
DNM is going to try and run, but there's just so much damage into the Onslaught, only connecting on DNM. The cogs. That was a nice cogs.
Yeah, good cogs, and Nick was not in range. I thought he was going to be able to get over there in time, but all he had was a cookie for Sammy. He didn't get the Scatterblast damage that was necessary to finish that play off. So, yeah, nice for DNM to survive that. That was a 3-man gank, effectively. And he's straight back to top. The beauty of Nature's Prophet is like nothing ever happened. Time stood still for a few seconds.
He's going to be buying a Midas as well for the comeback farm.
Yeah. Pretty standard. We see a lot of Nature's Prophet carries do this in particular right now. Not everybody and not every game. But yeah, greeting it up, getting high levels on this hero is really nice. You have exceptional stat gains, so the levels on this hero are arguably more impactful than on a lot of other carries. For that reason, your talents are also amazing. Sprout Leash on level 20 or the 100% miss chance. Be very handy this game.
Certainly will be.
100% miss against the Ursa. Ursa jumps and someone starts fighting them and you just sprout him.
That's so annoying. Sammy?
Yeah, he's in trouble, potentially. Well, he does have 3 siphons, so he should be fine. He can just siphon whatever and get cookied out.
Yeah, Rapid Nature didn't do anywhere near enough damage.
That's coming in.
Although-
This is still not enough for a kill. You just keep draining.
Yep, Sammy. He'll actually do more damage to Red than Red did to him.
Yeah, he also has 21 charges. This isn't even remotely close to being a kill.
Yeah, Sammy just...
Posing offensively here against Giant.
He certainly is.
Not going to be expecting the arrow, though.
Problem is, mid lane,
Good cookie.
Red is in trouble mid as well. I mean, you lose Sammy, but you lost Red. That's 2 across the map here for Firak going down.
Yeah,
MSS
this is
rotating.
Great for the side of Wildcard. They're going to get the mid tower, which is the grand prize here 10 minutes in. They're also 1k gold up already. And Xantic looking to repeat game 2. Sitting now on 67 CS. He's 2-0. He's going to get this tower. Well, they will glyph it, which I think is actually going to give him the last hit because he was mistiming it against the wave. Now he's going to just get it instead.
Middle tower has fallen.
Very nice for Xantic. He'll be very appreciative of that as Lil Nick, top lane, going to be targeted by Red. Arrow does not connect from Moose, however, but they will still find the kill. No problem.
Counter smoke coming from Wildcard. They're bringing Sammy up here. He's level 6 on the Death Prophet, so Exo is available. And at Xantic as well. No leaps ready for moves, but at Xantic going to show himself to kill a courier. And there's the Moonlight Shadow, so I don't think this is going to work. They have 1 Sentry Ward on Sammy and 1 on the ground, but no Silence skill point. Means Red can just jump away.
While all that was happening, MSS did go down bottom lane. The DNM was able to secure the kill into the Primals.
Is under attack.
A bit of catch-up goal for him. 3rd in net worth now as the Prophet. Sammy, chains will not land. Not on him at least. So Sammy will be just fine, but he already has the Spirit Siphon charge. He's not going to die. I believe Exorcism is up as well, if he wants to commit it.
Forcing out the leap there. Moose has no leaps left.
Uh-oh.
He's dead.
He even pops the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get
Must
rid
have
of some gold.
misclicked there. I guess he wanted to use his sticks or something.
Probably.
I don't think he wanted to use the smoke. What do you think?
I don't think so either, Cinder. No? Wildcard, slight net worth lead their way. Xantic's still top of the net worth board on the Timber, and it's one of the things, like, they have not been able to punish this man whatsoever. Yes, it's not as dominant as it was last game around, but at the same time, it's like you get these key items up, especially that Kai Assange, and we could see a kind of reappearance of that same Timbersaw last game.
He's definitely comfortable, right? Like, he might not be absolutely stomping, but he is doing very, very well for himself. His top tower is gone. Obviously, the Doom as well is having a good game. Speed, considering that he was laying against Ursa. He's sitting on 90 CS minute 12, so a very good scoreline for him in that regard. And with the Midas, he will be accelerating quite a lot, and that will be a potential solution for the Timber later. Getting doomed, even if he has the status resistance of the Sange, it's still a meaningful duration.
Nice Harrow mid. Chain setup was there. Hookshot to make sure, though. MSS does come in, but Lil Nick is gone. Exo popped. Sammy's going to join in, so they do at least find Giant.
So Exo is not particularly meaningful here from Sam. He's not going to do any tower damage, so not really a big fan of popping that there. He was maybe hoping this would be a bigger fight, but they were getting the hell out of there as soon as they overdove that Snapfire kill. It's going to run into speed, but can't really do anything. He's too fast.
Speed will just casually walk away. 7-5, still a very close affair between these two teams. Keep in mind, I know we already talked about this, but if Wildcard win this series, then we have a repeat of this series tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll be playing for the 7th place.
Red, nice little remnant away. What is the difference, like $1,000 for the 7th and 8th place, I think it is?
And the joy
The
watching
pride.
your most hated enemies bleed. Uh-oh, Samson.
He's
he
deep.
can't out-heal this, surely.
I mean, he's gone.
Okay. No, he couldn't.
They've got him. Mission accomplished.
Pretty close for Red, though. He almost got killed off by the Timber, but he just managed to barely make the jump away. Had just enough mana for that plus the TP, so he'll make his way back.
You know, Speed hanging around farming. MSS is around, but they've got detection. He'll try and go for the pulverize. It just doesn't matter, though.
Well, can they do him at Xantic here? No, not quite.
Yeah, it's anti. Making sure he's not going to get caught out by this Doom at all. Surely he changes his item build, though, right? Like, you might want that Lotus or a Lincoln's or something on the Timber this game around.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's best. You could also tank up, right?
Sure.
I think I do think the Lotus sounds pretty good. It's multi-purpose. It's good against Ember Chains as well.
Nice little arrow there with the chain setup once again. Sammy's still trying to heal up through it, but it's nowhere near enough.
Is under attack.
Red 2 will take that one. They have more time for Yuar to have the full Battle Fury up, but it's going to take a bit of time for him to get to that point where he feels like he can actually join his team to hit some people.
Yeah. It's a pretty good timing though. Phase boots and Battle Fury at 14 minutes, I think it was, that he grabbed it. He's not as farmed as Nature's Prophet or Doom, but that's pretty standard.
Little Nick, they are just not leaving this guy alone. Like, he's having a very tough series.
Where's the Seeds of Serenity, man? You gotta play the edges. That could have
That's fair.
probably not made the difference, but I say that if he used it right away, he might actually have lived.
You never know.
It would have healed him for a good like 50 to 60 health. I think you gotta pop it all.
Oh, we also lost our Ember. Red 2 ends up dying. And Xantic ends up finding the kill.
I did not see that kill at all.
Neither did I. As we have a pause. So 8 to 9, 3k advantage now to 5, right? DNM farming a little bit too nicely. 4-1-1 is the scoreline, by the way, for the Timber, so he's having a pretty good game, you'd argue, at the moment. What do you think about the state of the game? Like, is DNM getting a bit too much space here? Is Yoar going to be able to keep up?
I think it's concerning that DNM and Speed are getting this much. If it was one of them, there would be... I think the Radiant lineup can easily manage that, but if they both get to just totally free farm with a Midas each, I feel like you've got to step up the tempo. We actually saw this was the game that we had earlier today in China, as MSS might just be dead. Yep.
He is. Can they capitalize?
Bit of a trade though, possibly.
Hook shot. Giant's going to try and get even more out of this.
Oh, that's a really good kisses.
It certainly is. They are melting the wild card. They do go down.
All right, I take it back. He was on the same team. It looked like he was dealing a lot of damage, but it was to his teammates, so it didn't really matter. It's like they were just lined up so nicely and the kisses keep flying in, but it's only hitting red.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looked cool, but it wasn't the best.
Well, I tried to back you up now, Zinder. We both look stupid now.
Yeah, you look stupid for trusting me. Don't do that ever again. So we had a game in China earlier, which was very similar actually. It was the mid Timbersaw against a... I do think... Was that against Doom and Nature's Prophet? At least Aster had a lineup with Doom and Nature's Prophet both going Midas, and they just got punished so hard. Like, the map just shrunk, and LGD won the game in 20 minutes. But Wildcard are not finding the same success. They're maybe finding a kill on Red, though, at the very least.
Yeah, Red goes very deep. Tips out from the boys.
Yeah, his third death of the game. Nature's Prophet and Doom will have safety for this reason, and they are going to be arguably the true carries of this game over the Ember, so it's okay that he dies a bit, but might be a way to avoid that entirely.
Dire's middle tower
BKB now completed on DNM, and BKB also completed on Speed, so big timing here. The Radiant lineup does not deal well with BKBs, with the exception of Ursa. So they do want to try for the Roche, but it's actually being scouted by a ward. This upcoming fight is hard for Wildcard, because the thing is, all Doom needs to do is Doom at Xantic, and I think there's not enough in the tank from the rest of the lineup to really stand their ground against these big heroes with BKBs and Maelstroms.
You do at least have the blink now up on Yuar, so he could just join his team if he needs to in these fights, and that could be a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, he doesn't have the most resources right now though, so he's actually not ready.
Vessel out on Sammy. He's gone,
the Doom
Doom
on
is there.
Timber.
That's a big kill. If they can find the Timber and they've locked him down, no way out for him.
It's just too easy. Standing in the middle of the river, they get spotted by the ward. The good news for Wildcard is that the 5-rat lineup doesn't kill Roche particularly well, so if they had any sort of minus armor here or a strong Roche killer, they would have grabbed that right away as collateral, but they're going to just spread out instead and farm the map,
tower is under attack.
which means Ursa, his primary objectives as a hero is to kill that Roshan, and he still has that possibility because the enemy team couldn't do it. It feels like it's going to be a little while before Yawar gets there with confidence.
Oh, look how they'll group up. I mean, this Roshan's so important for them. They do see red, but it's an Ember. Not really the best lockdown for him is Yuar.
Actually just... No, you can't do this. Oh, there's an arrow. Oh, no.
Yeah, there is. Sammy in trouble. Yua's going to try and fight, but there's a leap away from this Mirana.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, they got to pulverize. All right, never mind.
That's a really good trade.
I mean, maybe now
for wild
Roshan.
card. Yep, this should open up Roche. Ember being dead. If he doesn't buy back, I think this is going to be tricky to contest. Giant does have hookshot, and he could try to steal this if he's being sneaky about it. They also have Arrow to try to make some chaos, and Doom has BKB ready, but his Scorched Earth is running out, so he's not particularly strong here. Arrow. Oh, they hit a Xantic.
Boy.
Oh, no.
That's a great start. Roshan so
Oh, an
low.
illusion rune.
Oh, no. Yua's out of the pit. Roshan. Wait, he got it.
He got the Aegis.
He got the Aegis.
Oh, this is a catastrophe for
What?
5-Rat.
What just happened? Speed. He's gone as well. Well, hold on a minute. What just happened?
That could not have gone any better for Wildcard considering the circumstances. So they get the combo on its Xantic, but he's just tanky enough. He pops the illusion rune and breaks the vessel. And they've spent so many resources and so much trying to kill him. He turns around, gets all of his spells off. Little Nick with the Ags.
Yeah, he has the Ags up, gets a perfect stun onto Red too, but it's not enough.
Just barely. They didn't have the silence ready or the pulverize. He survives on 5%. Nice play from Red to get out of there, just barely. And MSS dropped his mana boots on the ground and never picked them up again, so
Huh?
they are now stolen by Red.
What?
That is a pretty big gold swing.
What? No, Nick?
Good chains.
Nick's... Oh, he's alive.
Oh,
Not for
no,
long,
he's
though.
not.
Hookshot is there. Giant will finish the job off. And Giant, he'll give his life away happily for this as Yua shows up and now Red's gone. All right.
Does MSS not realize? They tipped him and he just tipped straight back. And he's not queuing up boots.
Yeah, I don't think he knows. Pulverize out. Moose is
Oh,
down.
maybe he doesn't need boots.
I mean, yeah, it is Primal Beast, but
Oh, now he's going
Okay,
phase.
okay.
That's a pretty big gold loss, you know?
yeah, I mean, that's not the way you want to play it. You know, I mean, maybe he's
How
just
the
trying to...
hell did that happen? Did he drop them for efficiency or something and then thought he picked them up and then he didn't? He might have dropped them to use a mango and then thought he clicked them and moved on and they were just lying in the river.
I wish we had a replay, but I don't think anyone saw it. Our observer's drawing some circles. It seems like he's got an idea of what happened, but maybe around Rosha. I don't know. Anyway, Boots is coming out. We'll look at a replay later, as in, you know, in game.
MSS is pretty poor. He is bottom net worth on Primal Beast. I wonder why. Sitting at 3K. Usually Primal Beasts at this point have, let's say, give or take another 1,500 gold than he does right now. There was no way to know that that would just go straight down the drain randomly.
Yeah.
But
Not.
the silver lining, he's still close to Dagger. So he will get that item soon enough. And he does have the Tumbler's Toy. So his mana issues are actually not going to be that severe. This item is incredible in this hero.
I love Thomas Toy.
You would.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You are?
Dire's
Tier 2 top tower.
fortified. Allies disappear.
Has the Basher now too. Close to BKB. Yawar's making some serious progress. And Ursa in this game is pretty fearsome for the Doom and the Nature's Prophet if he gets the jump. However, if he gets doomed, this hero is still very frail. Lose the overpower as well.
You are. Enrage.
Rage and run.
It's okay.
Trying to sidestep the hook here.
Okay.
It's not coming out though, so...
Here we go. Smoke up. Try and make something happen with the gobble up. Little Nick. Oh, he's right on target. They're going to find Red. Perfect initiation between him and MSS. And now they can really rush for more.
I love the sound of Gobble Up.
It's a nice one.
It sounds like a
Radiant's
cartoon.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's the sound in a cartoon when
Talk about a Roadrunner.
when somebody falls from a height, like they fall out
we're
of a
going-
plane or something in a cartoon. It's
We're
like,
going way back. We're going way back, aren't we?
to
To back in the day. You know when it was black and white videotapes? Well, you were there.
no need to get personal with me. No, it's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. This sounds just sounds like when something is falling in a cartoon. You know?
Yeah.
We get shot out of a cannon. And it's like
That's what I'm saying. Looney Tunes, right?
that might be where it's from.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
What if it's a stock sound? I don't think Valve necessarily recorded that, because I have heard the enraged sound of Ursa in multiple different places.
Yeah.
The exact same one. So that sound is definitely being used elsewhere. All right, speaking of Ursa,
Yeah.
trying to take on Giant. Didn't want to use the enraged, though.
Oh, onslaught.
Oh,
No.
that's a great glide near.
They're gonna lock him down.
Gonna not hit the arrow, though. Hookshot is ready.
Sammy pops the Exo. He's ready to try and turn this one back around. In goes Yua. They've got Giant to start. Clockwork is gone as the gobble up. Onto red, but there's no follow-up.
Immediately turned around and was like, nope.
Smoke, 5-Rat, I think they're just going to disengage. I mean, they're hanging around, but there's no stragglers. They're all together.
And this means probably before the next fight, Xantic will be picking up a Lincoln Sphere. So it has an extra line of defense against the Doom until he gets Ags or a way of breaking this Lincoln's. We'll see what it's going to be. Could obviously find a creep that has a way of doing it. Moose will get away.
Even pops the Moonlight Shadow. I think they're going to turn back around and re-engage here on the side of 5-Rat.
Dire's middle
MSS is very
under attack.
visible right now, standing in the middle of a creep wave, just farming up, but is retreating. Might still stick around a little bit too long here, but they're bringing in reinforcements. The Snapfire is TP'd over, and they can just gobble him up on the arrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now they're throwing in a stun primal. He's not going to appreciate that.
No, probably not, but
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage coming out as they commit the Doom, but it means
was a
nothing.
trap.
It was all a trap.
Now that's an over.
It was. Giant. Go for a run. Yuan's there. Should have the kill.
He is struggling to reach, but Phase Boot's coming up.
Radiant's top tower is under
No bash. Great cogs. Yawar is struggling to find a way in. Gets in now, but I think he's not going to connect on this dagger. Oh, the Nature's Prophet will actually canceling it too.
Unfortunate.
attack.
This game is looking really good now for Wildcard. I think they really weathered the storm. The Ursa is fully online. They should have control for the next Roche potentially. And if they get an opening like that, where Timber just goes in and deals 2,000 damage and then Ursa cleans house, you got to be quick on your BKB finger there. Like Doom almost died instantly. He took so much damage before he BKB'd that he just needed 2 swings.
Now that gobble up with the stun primal, man, it's just... I mean, it's pretty distracting there, right? Because I don't think they were expecting Xantic and Yuan to sneak up from the back.
No, definitely
like
not. They were not ready for that.
They must have just thought it's a mistake. Like, he just threw in his stun teammate.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was interesting, to say the least, but it worked.
It did. That's all that matters.
All part of the plan. It was a bait.
No, they're playing tomorrow.
Yes. That's the other bait. The real bait.
Red 2.
Please stand up. All right. MSS completes his phase boots, so walking around pretending like the mistake never happened.
Tower is under attack.
Xantic will get eyes on Giant here and actually sees a double damage rune. We'll just bottle it up. Couldn't really protect it for Ursa. He's all the way in the top half of the map, pushing that out as he should be, while still losing his tier 2 tower as he arguably shouldn't be in that lane. They actually just let DNM take that, and that is outpost control unlocked for the Dire via the top tower, which is pretty uncommon to have happen.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I'm just going to stay with, I say that, bottom lane at Xantic.
Oh,
They found themselves a target. Giant, still surviving. Cogs are there. Chain forward from Xantic, but he's not close enough, but still they'll have the onslaught.
straight into the arrow, but they don't really want to commit into this primal. Understandably so. They don't really have the best damage with Doom and Mirana, and they don't know about Ursa's whereabouts. They do now. Oof. Went for the potential lucky bash there, but he already jumped out on red. But Yawar is close to Abyssal now, and that's really bad news for 5-Rat. It means he can solo the Ember, he can solo the Doom, and he can solo the Nature's Prophet, I think. If he gets the jump with full overpower charges, and he uses a second overpower as he procs the bash, any of them will die.
Yeah.
Doom has pretty bad armor. He doesn't have an armor item. He went Octarine and he's going Ags, so no Shivas Guard, no AC. Makes him very vulnerable.
That it does. 4-man smoke up, 5-Rat. They'll head around that Radiant Triangle area.
Just find Little Nick here. They will break to Sammy, so they'll settle.
Arrow will connect.
It's not the best.
Not the best, taking a bit longer. They still
Giant though.
Yeah, he's found more. Lil Nick, he's been locked down. DNM, he'll take him out with the Gleipnir. MSS at least gets himself out. But now Sammy. Sammy just bought back.
What the hell? He
Sammy's-
just ran into 5 heroes as position 5.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, he duped himself as well.
This is real bad for Wildcard. They're literally just going in one by one and getting blown up.
Xantic
doing
though,
his best.
he's trying to clean up. He might have it. Red's out of mana, but no, Xantic's gone. That is a very, very unfortunate series of events for Wildcard. And I say unfortunate, so I can't find another word for it. That was a very strange fight.
I got a word for it.
What's that?
Poor.
That's a worse word than I was using, I think.
Yeah. But it might be more descriptive of what happened. That was a mess. They went in one by one. They just got their Death Prophet killed. She buys back, runs in again, and dies again. They send in their Ursa alone. He gets doomed. And then the Timber comes in after Ursa dies. If you combine all your heroes and all your spells together there as Wildcard, that fight is very winnable. But they were not on the same page. And 5-Rat 4-Stuff get a huge win. That was a 7,000 gold swing that we just witnessed in 1 minute. They got 5 kills. They got the tower. Or actually, no, never mind. They already had the tower. So that was just raw kill gold and a bounty rune? 7K?
Radiant's
Oh, what do you know?
is under attack.
That's pretty big. If they get the Roche too, it's salt in the wound.
That it is.
And they
Roshan.
will get it, I think. They'll be in time.
I mean, there is some form of a gobble up play. Kisses are going to be there.
Okay,
They'll buy a bit
maybe.
of time, but now Lil Nick's in trouble, and he will not have the gobble up now as he is gone. But he can buy back. He will commit.
All right. Sammy is going to try to frontline again, maybe. Would not recommend it. Find the D ward.
The thing is, you've committed all these buybacks and spells, but 5-Rat, they just casually back off, and Doom's back up in 4.
Yeah, he almost has Doom again. They're not going to expect that with the Octarine already enabling that.
Pulverize. Arrow, though,
Just gonna
going to
get
connect on
Arrow and
MSS,
die.
and now
Oh, he
Speed
finds
jumps
the
in.
Doom
Doom is
too.
there. He got the Enrage off. Gobble up is out as well. Lil Nick will get him out. Grant still going after Sammy. Meanwhile, Xantic has been caught on the Timber. He's gone. Sammy still trying to run. Yuar jumping back in for the Roshan. Can he snipe it in time? The Aegis on the deck. Red 2's got it. Oh, no. Yuar, he's down. A complete mess once again. MSS caught out. Lil Nick, he'll at least TP away, so no dieback for him. But everyone else is gone. Ultra kill for DNM.
Dare I say they just lost the game in 2 minutes? Like, this is an insane swing that we're witnessing here in this game.
I think you're right.
Relative to the game state, this just should not have happened, and 5-Rat are just capitalizing on every mistake, and they're being quick about it. They're not hesitating. I love the play from Speed to just go straight for it, you know, even though he doomed into the Enrage, it's still good enough. He buys the time, they all combine all their stuff onto the Timber and kill him off. He does not have BKB, so he's still susceptible to some of these like chain stuns and roots and whatnot.
Top tower has fallen.
And that's Elena Barracks too. Can't add much more insult to injury than this. This was a close game just a moment ago,
Has fallen.
and everything has gone to shit
I mean, that's
for Wildcard.
probably
In the
the
blink
most
of an eye.
accurate way to put it, Syndra.
Middle tower.
That is, if you look at this gold graph, that is 6 flags right there. Probably not safe for 6 flags, actually.
No.
The experience graph is, yeah,
It's steep.
that would not pass. That would be that's a hazard. Let's call it that.
I'm scared of rides anyway, Syndra.
Yep. Well, you should not watch this Dota game because this is a wild ride for sure.
Very good segue. Wildcard.
Well, they're gonna try their best here to make a move. I mean, Doom is ready again, and now he has Ags, so he could even cast on himself and stick on the target.
Oh.
Slight chains. Yes, he has Aegis on Ember. He can play very aggressively here. They pop Exo to run away. He pops it for the move speed. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Oh, boy.
But now you don't have Exo. He's TPing back to base. Uses to push out mid.
Okay, well, top lane, they are going to go for a bit of a fight. Looks like Gleipnir is going to catch Lil Nick, and I believe that is going to be a dieback on the Snapfire.
Yep. Yep, it is.
Oh, what a hook! Giant, what a hook to come out. And Sammy, he's gone. 50 seconds.
DNM has quietly gone 9-0 this game.
He's a quiet
You
lad.
know, he's just farming up. He's making the moves. He's joining the fights. When everything was chaotic and it wasn't going well for his team, he played it clean. Going deathless in this game against a team with 24 kills, and considering how the game played out, it's pretty damn impressive, I have to say, that he did not get caught a single time by Ursa or Timber or Primal. And now he's reaping the rewards. This is going to be a second lane of barracks. I think there's no way in hell the Radiant defend this. They only have one glyph this time. They have lost a tier 3 tower already, so this one will not reimburse them. Yawar can only watch. This home is torn apart. Where will the cubs grow up? They're gonna have to migrate.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
Migrate to the fountain, build some holes there,
You have to make the game.
start a new life for
Oh,
ourselves.
this is getting tragic, Citron. Jesus.
Maybe Primal Beast can dig a tunnel for him
Oh.
to escape out of the Radiant base.
Oh.
Maybe Timber can cut down all the trees and they can build a bridge.
Is there a happy ending to this story, Syndra?
Maybe Death Prophet can finally fulfill her
Radiant's
duty.
bottom tower
Oh.
has fallen.
All right.
Maybe Snapfire can throw them out of the map. All right, it's time. Maybe. Question mark. They have 1 minute on the Aegis on red 2. Doom is ready. All right, didn't quite find the pick there that he was hoping for, but he gets the D ward. And DNM's just farming in the meantime, you know? He can show up at any point. He's going to get level 25 from this creep that he just gets, so no teleport cooldown now. I'm assuming he will take that talent, as everybody does. So, constant teleportation unlocked.
I mean, how mad would you be if you didn't take that talent, right? Like you accidentally misclicked the other one? Be so sad,
Some big-ass treants.
I guess.
Or big-ass treants.
True.
Relevant XKCD. It's like
Totally.
2 people in the audience that got that joke. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Wildcard are moving out of the base and they're under a ward. This is really telegraphed and this could end horribly. Clockwork has every opportunity to jump right now. Is hesitating though. There we go.
Yeah, you are
Finds
caught.
the Ursa into the arrow.
Bye-bye, you are.
And he has no buyback.
He has no buyback.
That is... he also has no buyback.
That's true. Very observative of you.
Another good slight change from red 2. This game is
Over.
suddenly over.
Yeah, I believe it's just over.
It was dead even 8 minutes ago. It is no longer dead even 8 minutes later.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, Dota Plus has 0%.
Radiant's bottom
I think that was fairly obvious.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom
Well, I have to say this was kind of disappointing. I was hoping for a more exciting mid-late game, but 5-Rat 4-Staff just completely outperformed them in the last 5 minutes, and they're going to clean it up, and there's not going to be a tie for last.
No, there certainly is
This
not.
is domination in the last 5 minutes. Just clearly doing the better job against Wildcard, who were setting themselves up for success, but they dropped the ball.
I mean, they're
Now
still
it's
trying.
a formality to close this out. Ursa's still dead. Speed's going to go in and doom everyone.
Certainly will. Hookshot is there on 2 as well. They've lost Lil Nick. They've lost Sammy. Still no buybacks available. Tier 4 towers going down. Ancient now under siege. Yua's back, but it's a little bit too late, I think. So they might go to take him down. Pulverize out onto red 2, but he's going to survive. As Speed's got another doom available. And Yua's going right back to where he came from, I think, which is the grave here as GG is called. 5-Rat, they will find a 2-1 victory, and while both teams are still going to get relegated to Div 2, at the very least you play 7th instead of 8th.
Yep. And yeah. What can you say? The way that ended was very sudden and very surprising, but also, I guess, indicative of how these teams have, been faring in the tournament in general. It's not too surprising that Wildcard, first of all, end up losing the series, but also the way in which it happened was very chaotic. It was unorganized. 5-Rat 4-Staff have, in general, in this tournament, been playing tighter. They've been playing more as a unit, and that was what gave them that win. Like, this game was close, and 2 moments, they just completely outplay them. out-navigate them, win those fights, get the rush, and clean house.
Well, that is it for tonight. Let's throw it back to our panel, see what they have to say about this game 3.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike and Cinderin. Yes, indeed, 5-Rat 4-Staff take their 7th place, and Wildcard Gaming will finish the division without a single series win. That is just something we did not expect at all coming out from this team. But here we are. This is the position we're in, and they'll be going down to Division 2 as the bottom seed from Division 1. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, can we just reflect a little bit on the season and just kind of sum up what exactly went wrong for this team? You know, what really didn't work and caused this to happen?
Well, at least the start of the season, basically, they played their first game against Bait, and they won that first game. It was like, all right, this is the wild card we all signed up for. The players that we see in there, Yawar farming, you've got Alone having a good time, supports are showing off. And then it's a downhill slide, just overall a bit disconnected with execution, having the idea of two same type of core heroes through the mid and through the safe lane, and just no cohesion whatsoever.
Yeah, I believe that sums it up pretty nicely. They just couldn't find their identity as a team. They tried a lot of different things, ended up with just being in a 2-carry meta. We've seen other teams try and replicate that by having their carry in the mid lane, 2 offlaners, doesn't work. But if you add a carry in the mid lane and also another carry, turns out that doesn't work either. The meta is what it is and has been for a very long time. That's why a lot of people are hoping for a patch, because there's no getting around it. There's no experimenting with a new way to play Dota. It is what it is now, and if you can't play it, you're probably not going to win.
And yeah, that's the end of Wildcard's journey. That really is it. And now we look to the other side of the coin. 5-Rat 4-Staff will be going down, but you know, with 2 wins, it's not a shameful drop down to Division 2. They could be very optimistic about their chances down there. However, getting back to the game, this was crazy. They let through the Timbersaw again. The Timbersaw, which absolutely chopped them in half in game number 2, and they seem to have a much better plan for it. I mean, what was different about the second game?
Well, Red 2, basically, he proved that Game 2 was more about mistakes in lane. He got a good start with the Ember Spirit. Xantic doesn't get the Snowball, and that also allows the Doom to counter, allowing to fight against this Timbersaw pretty early. DNM, he was topping net worth with the Midas and on the Furion, and then the Doom, of course. They're both farmers, but they also push, so it's not just jungle grinding. You're really getting something out of that net worth with these 2 heroes.
Yeah, I feel like Speed just had a game this time around. Game number 1, He got crushed really hard on the Underlord. Versus the Ursa, he was mirroring him in farm, and also mid lane, of course, went a bit better. Red 2 unfortunately did fall off pretty hard eventually. Advantage also had a good game, and then DNM, he was doing really well. And I think Sammy Boy not being on a Clockwork, we saw his impact with all the hook shots. They were great in game number 2, sorry. But game number 3, this Death Prophet, I'm not a huge of his POS 5. It did not have the same effect that the Clockwork did as far as initiation went.
Yeah, that's for sure. At least when you kind of run into fights gung-ho like Sammy Boy loves to do, on a Clockwork, you're going to mess shit up. You know, you're going to cause a big disruption. On Death Prophet, you kind of just suck a little bit of HP and die. Maybe you get a decent silence off here and there. It didn't really look convincing. That's the second time we've seen it. And again, just something we're still a bit on the fence about. I think Fear maybe might be over the fence about it.
Definitely over the fence right now.
But Giant, meanwhile, on the Clockwork had a stunning game. Some amazing hook shots out from him. And when it comes back to dealing with the Timbersaw, the big difference between these 2 games is actually something which T-Panda mentioned in the draft panel, was that it came down to roots, and it really did. The Aghanims on the Nature's Prophet, the Gleipnir also coming out. I can't remember if it had 2 or 1 Gleipnirs, but either way, these constant roots made it almost impossible for Xantic to actually move around the fights like he was doing so before. One fight, like the Nature's Prophet just stood there in the river, just hitting him, like just face to face, and Xantic's like, I don't have trees, I can't get to trees. What do I do? And he just died. And like, what a great read. And honestly, like, what a ballsy play from 5-Rat 4-Staff to let it through twice. But MVP for this game, who's it going to be, Fear?
Oh, it's got to be DNM. This Nature's Prophet from start to finish looked amazing. He had a great laning stage. On top of that, itemized correctly. Didn't die a single time. But I think, the Gleipnir rush was very important here. I also will give a small shout out to Speed. He was getting dooms as well on the Timbersaw, which he couldn't deal with. And multiple dooms throughout this game were good. This wasn't the cleanest game from 5-Rat. There was a point where I thought they might actually end up losing this one, but DNM ended up getting his farm. Speed got some good initiations. I have to shout out Giant as well. The Clockwork had great initiations too.
Sick shots.
But we brought it home with DNM here, with the carry.
Yeah, both DNM and Speed, where they were like Speed and DNM, they started speeding them. That was kind of like the theme that they had after that, or actually before Roche number 2. And, you know, they just clicked together, started carrying the team, and started carrying to win.
All right, well, that is going to do it for 5 out 4 stuff as they do get the 2 and 5. And after this win, we get to speak to Mr. Red 2, the mid laner from the team, about this series. Sorry, DNM, the carry player, about this series. DNM, how's it going? I mean, that was a hell of a series. I want to go straight in with my first question, actually. You let the Timbersaw through in the 3rd game after game number 2. What was your read on that?
The Timbersaw, I mean, mostly Red 2 is like pretty confident on pretty much all of his mid lane matchups, right? So he really didn't care about any of the mid lane matchups. Just like basically told me, just give me Ember, I would just play basically anything into it, right? He didn't care that much at all. So going into it, I think, you know, we just needed to shut down this Timber. We're going to itemize towards it. We're going to buy a Vessel. I think the Doom pickup is also pretty good against the Timber, and we just knew eventually we're going to outscale them. Yeah.
A lot of confidence.
All right. DNM, congrats on your win. I wanted to ask you about this series and what you kind of dodged as well in this sense. You, if you were to lose this series, you would have had to play them again in a best of 3 for a $1,000 difference. Was winning game 3 a big relief based on what happened in game number 2?
Huge relief. I actually didn't notice. Like at the start of the series, I thought like this is going to be like the last year of the Division 1, right? And then my teammates told me that if we lose this one, we actually do have to play them again. It was going to be another best of 3, right? So like after losing game 2, literally what everyone's like stopped talking. We just said like, I don't want to play another series against these guys. I just want to win. Like so, we just went in and won game 3, right?
All right, awesome. What was the biggest difficulty you tried to overcome as a team during the course of this entire tour?
We've gone through a lot of difficulties. I think the biggest difficulty is like getting the most out of our scrims. I think a lot of the time we focus too much on the micro sense of things. We didn't focus enough on the big picture. I'd say was the biggest downfall for us this division, or this season rather. Hopefully we'll pick it up in Division 2 if we do decide to stick together. But I think too much focusing on the micro, not enough big picture. And we fell short in a lot of places too.
Yeah, we could see that this was a very tough tour for you guys and definitely a lot of obstacles on the way. How did you maintain team morale through this tour? Did you guys do anything particular to improve it and keep it up?
To be honest, team morale after the first, like, so basically what was on everyone's mind is like, we got to beat Nouns, at least to keep like the major hopes alive. So it was just on our minds as soon as the division started. But after we lost to Nouns on the first series, it's just, it was difficult to say the least, but you know, we still want to go play through it. We still want to keep our slot in Division 1. So we still kept screaming. We still try to keep morale up, but you know, with how the DPC is set up and how our first major important match is literally the first match of the NA DPC, it was difficult for sure, but we tried to persevere. But you know.
Yeah, thanks for the mature answers. I know Kips and Panders and a couple others were saying that you're really a mature kid, so thanks so much for the answers.
No, thank you.
All right, so I was going to ask, after you lost game number 2 of this series, you mentioned a little bit how you guys said you didn't want to lose the next game. What did you talk about exactly before going into this game number 3?
I don't think we went into it too much strategy-wise. We just knew we just wanted this game to be over with, right? So we were just going to keep it to our comfort. I mean, we realized actually that we didn't need to ban the Prophet. We just realized like this is one of our best heroes. We should just stick on the Prophet, right? Because we play it on speed pretty much perfectly. I played a bunch of times. We've always had major successes with any of us on the Nature's Prophet, right? So we just said we're going to play the Prophet and, you know, just try our best. You know, we're going to give Red to the Ember again. He's confident on it. And yeah.
All right. The next question is, is there any hero that you haven't got to play a lot this tour that you practiced a lot and didn't get to show off?
I think later on in the patch, I started to realize Clinks is definitely one of the biggest sleeper heroes that I just now realized. I've been spamming that hero a bunch of times. Yeah. Because the Clinks hero, like, especially for some reason, without like any major defense line, he just have 4k HP at like 15 minutes into, like, when you're level 15. I don't know why, but that's one here. I try to tell my team, especially on speed, For the gameplay, I want to see if I can pick up the clinks for the last pick, but he was really confident on his team, so I was gonna let him do his thing, right? But it would have been close. I wish I could actually have the chance to play it out, but hopefully they don't nerf him too much. I can have the chance to play him next season.
Actually, talking about that Clinks in particular, have you gotten to try out like your offlaner builds Helm of the Overlord, and then you play Clinks as well and get yourself a massive amount of HP earlier? And have you tried that one out?
Yeah, I definitely tried it a lot in my pubs. We haven't gone into scrim it that much, but I think you get like some ridiculous amount of HP if you just use it, right? So I mean, I don't know. We haven't. I think we've seen it a little bit in other divisions, but I think it's definitely something that a lot of people have not tried at all, and it might be like the next big like broken thing with the patch. I'm still waiting to see that happen.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, you guys, it sounds like you've had some low points in the season, without a doubt, but I kind of hear that you saying, like, the vibes are getting better now. What was the team's mentality coming into this series? How did you feel about it?
I think kind of how like Speed said in the last interview, we kind of just been focusing too much on ourselves, right? I think the mentality bit has been destroying us in a lot of portions of the game. So same thing, I think we just didn't scrim at all. We were just saying like, all right, we're going to go into a best of 3 scrim, guys. Like, it's kind of weird that it's best of 3, or we're going into this scrim, just to have fun, right? Not to think too much about it. Yeah, it's just mostly just the mentality part.
For sure. And finally, you're facing a long break now before Div 2 starts up again. What does your timeline look like? Are you going to be kind of scrimming a lot, scrimming a little bit, or ramping it up as it gets towards Division 2? What's the plan?
Unfortunately, it is a very long road, but I mean, we'll come back together. We'll see exactly what everyone's up to. Who knows? Maybe some people have other plans. But I think hopefully we'll try to continue sticking together. We still have a long road ahead of us towards TI. I think what's on everyone's mind is just the TI regional qualification, right? Is the next major big goal, right? So even though we went into Division 2, it's a slight setback, but we all have very big aspirations. So eyes on the prize.
All right, and okay, this really is massive, but I do want to ask one more time. 5-4 stuff, this team, it sounds like you've made some friends in the team as well. Who's the closest connection you've got in the team now that you've played the season out?
The closest connection, I would say I've been through thick and thin with Giant. I think I actually kind of forced him already just to play with me. He used to be an offlaner. So he used to be an offlaner, right? And then originally, when I played offlane in the cut, I asked him like, go be position 4 with me, right? And then we went to Division 1 that one, and then we went to 5-4 stuff together. After that, he went back to 4, but on this season we were in dire need of a 5, right? So I just asked Giant to come in again, like go play 5 for me again, right? He went in. I think he honestly adapted like pretty much perfectly to any of the roles that he played, right? He adapted to 4 really quickly, being an offlane player. He adapted to 5 extraordinarily fast. He only had like 2 weeks to really practice right now. He still maintained his MMR, so I would say Giant, yeah, and definitely proud of what he did for the team.
Cool. All right, good stuff. What a bro Giant is. What a bro. And we're looking forward to seeing that bromance develop through Division 2 as well. DNM, thank you so much for coming to talk to us, and best of luck in Division 2 when it comes around.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Well, 5-4 stuff. Yeah, as I mentioned, they're going down to Division 2, but it does seem like there's been a lot of growth in this team. They've learned a lot, and growing together as well. It would be nice to see most of them stick together. Obviously, shuffles happen, opportunities arise, and we'll see which way that ends up going. Out of all these players, if anyone does change, is there anyone you think the Division 1 teams will be looking at if they are going to be making shuffles?
Looking at, I mean, I'm just looking at the teams staying in Division 1, and I'm not so sure many of them will make change. Maybe Felt might potentially. But other than that, a lot of the other Dog Champ. Yeah, I could see Dog Champ, but looking at D&M kind of wants to be 5 rat. I mean, I could see D&M going to Dog Champ as a carry player. That could be good. But I think him sticking with teammates, going through Division 2, willing to be like, I'm a Division 1 caliber player, but this is a setback. I'll just get back and we'll focus on TI next.
Yeah.
I think that's like the correct outlook instead of being like, I'm instantly going to go to another Div 1 NA team. Surely
better
this
than
will be
these
the
nerds.
one, right?
Yeah.
They need the slow growth. There's nothing that's going to be a magic potion here that's going to get them into a top 3 placing in NA Div 1.
Yeah, I think that's what he showed from the interview as well.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that he seems to have. Definitely Giant as well for the others. I think Speed showed that similar thing. So you kind of assume it's across the board.
Yeah, I know Denim is a very mature kid, at least from what I've also heard from outside sources, that he is very, say, self-critical in a positive way, right? And I think that's a very good perk to have as a player, and especially looking for player growth. And also the skill capacity that you can still engage with and grow yourself as a player. It's like very valuable traits as a player. So DNM
That's
obviously.
a team as well, right?
And as a team, yeah. Like these are things that you don't come across with every single Dota player. Hence, you would like to have players like this stick with the team and just maybe build around them, for example. Find the kind of players like he talked about Giant. Got yourself a bro to help you out in the lane, make things work out, and it's the best feeling when you click with a player right away. It's awesome.
It is indeed. And 5-4 staff will be watching them closely, and the players, a young team which hopefully have a bright future ahead of them here in the NA region, because those are the kind of players we want to get invested in and we want to see rejuvenating the region. And now we can take a look over at the leaderboard and see exactly where it stands at the moment, because after that win, it does mean that 5-4 staff will be sitting in 7th position at 2 and 5, and wildcard. Is that the Monka?
No, I saw the 3-way tie.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's the next thing to mention. Yeah. Jumping the gun a little bit there, but wildcard down at 0 and 7, meaning that I did. They'll be 0 and 7, and then just above them, as Fizz so monkering about, it is the 3-way tie. Bait, Dogchamp, and Felt will be battling it out for those 3 spots. Position 4, I believe, gets you 80 DPC points. Position 5 gets you 40 DPC points, and position 6 gets you nada.
You get to stay. That's all.
Yeah, you get to stay in the in Division 1, which, to be fair, Felt said was their goal anyway, so screw it, they can be bottom.
Yeah. I mean, they all have a little bit of, just like the 5-route wildcard game, a little more money too, depending on how well you do.
Yep. Absolutely. So that'll be the next series we've got coming up, or series we've got coming up for you guys. But other than that, there's no more tiebreaks in this region. That one does sort out the bottom side. The top side, obviously, is all sorted out. So this will be the next schedule we've got coming up. It's going to be Bait versus Dog to kick things off. Then it will be the next team fighting up versus Felt. And then the Felt again. So they get to play twice. Enjoy you.
And to remember as well that those games are earlier than when we started today. So to make sure that you put that time down.
Yep.
Don't miss them.
Yep, set your alarm clocks a little bit earlier this time around, as it'll be a different start time. So come and join us tomorrow for more DPC NA action as Bait versus Dogchamp will kick us off. Quick predictions before we close it out. Who do you think? So what's the 1, 2, 3 looking like for this 3-way tie?
Oh, thank God! I thought you were asking talent predictions for the tour.
Oh, I'm bringing those up. And it's a self-report.
It is so difficult to place Dog right now. Which roster are they going to use? I'm going to assume they're using the Russell Sunlight one. So I'm going to go Bait, Dog, Felt.
Bait, Dog, Felt.
That's my prediction.
I would like to say Bait was looking a bit shaky in the last 2 series.
Anything can happen
They
here,
had
of course.
They had a very weird start. They had a very good mid-season. They had a kind of a weak ending. I'd say Dogchamp will go 4th. I'll put Bait as 5th and Felt as 6th.
Ooh, okay. I think Felt have got it, I think they're a team which has kind of grown the most, and their momentum has been on the up. And I reckon that's going to help you out a lot in those 3-way tiebreakers.
Who doesn't have it then?
Who doesn't have it? I don't want to say Bait because I like their ideas. I've liked a lot of what they've done.
Dog,
so
then.
I think Dogchamp is going to be my bottom team. Maybe they use the stand-in and get like, as we've said, we've wanted to see them playing with a carry player. That changes everything for me. But if it is their normal roster, then I'm putting Dogchamp bottom. So for me, it's going to be Felt, Bait, Dogchamp.
Honestly, a thing for the teams to consider about this, because you're only getting points in Tour 2, means you're going to have to nail the season in Tour 3 to actually benefit out of those points. You're pretty much guaranteed to play in the regional qualifiers. If you are making roster changes, now's a good time to actually try out a stand-in, potentially, who could be playing with the team later on, maybe a tryout player you've been looking for some time. But if they do stick with their rosters, then they do, and they're happy to stay play with them as they are. But I think this is a great opportunity to try somebody out you're really looking to add into the team.
Yeah, one thing I would say is I'm done with these big shuffles, which we saw a lot of at the start of this season. I think that's okay coming into Tour 2, coming into Tour 3. If you're changing up your entire roster, you're starting from scratch once again.
Exactly.
It's very difficult to change the fundamentals and be ready for the TI qualifiers in
Too
time.
bad you have no say in this.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's
We
what
can
I
only
hope.
talk the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what the teams end up doing. And of course, we'll see how those tiebreakers end up going. But that is going to be it for the NA DPC for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this singular series. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you tomorrow for more DPC action.